Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. pleasant good morning, everybody, and welcome to Breakfast with Roger and Friends. So happy to see everybody. Boy, July is coming to a rapid end, but not the hot weather. Maybe today is the last day. Anyway, let's introduce everybody. Pleasant good morning to Terry Chamberlain. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning.
Gary Hall is here as well. Good morning, Gary.
Present accounted for, sir.
You got it. And Tyrus Killiam all the way from Princeville, the Prince of Princeville. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you. We're having some trouble, so if you're on YouTube, we may not be on YouTube. Our crack electronics expert, Chris Buckley, is working on it, and hopefully we'll be on very, very shortly. It does give me an opportunity to say, and she probably can't hear it because she's not able to access YouTube, happy birthday to my sister Carol, watching, we hope, eventually in Indio, California. She's one of my two beautiful sisters, so happy birthday, Carol. We'll do it later in the program when you might be able to see it and hear us, for that matter.
How old is she, Roger?
We don't give women's ages, especially my sister's age, or my sister's ages. So on top of that, that's like saying, "How old is Betty?"
She's.
Don't do that.
I gotta
You
think
know
about
why?
that.
Why is that, Terry? Why is it women don't? And I'll tell you a quick story after you get done telling me why you think women are particularly concerned about release of their age.
Because society holds things against aging women. When men get older, they're distinguished. When women get old, they're just old.
Well, some are not distinguished, some are extinguished, for that matter. But you're right, and you know, on the other hand, there are a lot of men who don't want their age revealed. I didn't like it for a long time. Now, when you're 91, you're 91. You can't hide it. But I remember when I worked at Methodist, I won't say the gentleman's name, but he was part of administration, and I edited maybe the only hospital newsletter for employees daily at Methodist. And what we did with the daily newsletter, it was a one sheet printed on both sides, was give the local headlines, national headlines, the weather, and what was on the menu for the noon cafeteria. And then we also had an area for personal notes, like Terry Chamberlain has a birthday today. Happy birthday, Terry. And congratulations to Fred and Wilma. They're celebrating their 30th wedding. You know, personal notes like that. Well, this guy in administration had a birthday, so I put in it, happy birthday, we'll say Fred Mertz. Fred is 52 today.
Married to
He
Ethelbert.
went crazy. He was so unhappy. Nurses told me down in the emergency room that he was down there when he picked up the daily sheet, and he said, he put in my age, and he went and you're having a hard time with that quiz, aren't you? That's like opening your paycheck.
Sorry,
Yeah, you did okay. But he was very upset, even while he was in the emergency room. Where's the telephone? Picked up the phone and called his wife and said, you know what? Roger said happy birthday, and he gave my age in the newsletter. And he wouldn't talk to me for 2 weeks over that.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
That's what I
Vanity, thy
said.
name is not only woman, but man too.
Yeah, well, you're right. And I think I have a reason why. Men don't want to admit they're older than what they are to the opposite sex.
Well, Betty's 71 and I'm 76.
Okay, 5 years difference. And how are you? How old are you, Tyrus? You're 26 now. right?
26.
I think we're getting on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah. We are making progress. Oh, okay, well, wonderful.
Hi, everybody.
And we'll say hi. And that gives me an opportunity to do this. Let me move this over to that camera because I'm going to show a picture of the family, and I can't tell you what year it was. And I'll have to move a little closer because I want to get my youngest. Let's see.
That's pretty
She's
good.
she's over here. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
Can you see Carol?
Yep.
Yeah. She is the youngest
It's her
in the
birthday.
family.
Okay.
And the rest of the good-looking studs include my brother Zach. I'm sure you can recognize Zach. And that fat face kid next to him is his younger brother. That's Roger, and Mom and Dad. I'm trying to figure out. It was on 2917 North Madison, and look at Judy's expression next to her mother.
Do I have to do this?
Exactly right.
Yep.
This is the 7th time you've told me to smile, and that's it. That's the end of it. As far at any rate, happy birthday, Carol Angelello, who is celebrating today. When was your birthday, Gary? Didn't you have one just recently?
No, it was February the 18th was my birthday. I've got one coming up next year.
Yeah. That was me, June.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, was that
Well, you all look alike.
was that picture taken on tintype?
I don't think so. It may have been.
Was that back in the?
I don't know what I've got around
40s?
my neck, but it looked like.
Looked like 46, 47.
You may be right. That might be a pretty good guess. You can tell I take after my mother, and my brother takes after my dad, and my sisters take care after each
Can
other.
I take a look at it, Roger?
That matter. Yes, you are. Put 25 cents down on
Okay.
in exchange for that.
You want that as an Illinois quarter? Or?
Yeah, I think so. Hey, let's do what we do every morning. That's bring you up to date with the news. A lot of things happening, and we're up to date. And we're going to start with, and by the way, thanks to Chris Buckley for taking care of our electronic problems. We hope as a result, people watching on YouTube are now be able to watch on YouTube. And a check of the weather brought to you by Bob Manning. He's Senior Vice President Financial Advisor with the Grandview Capital Group. That's at Morgan Stanley right here in wonderful Peoria, Illinois. For your investment needs, check out Bob. He's available 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Weather-wise, it'll be cloudy today with showers and thunderstorms, mostly after 5 this afternoon. That's the good point of it, for that matter. And not as hot today, high of only 83 degrees. Tonight, more showers with a low of 66. Tomorrow, it'll be cloudy early, then gradual clearing, becoming sunny. More rain in the forecast. The high tomorrow, 77. Friday, sunny and breezy. A high of 78. More of the same this weekend. On Saturday, 79 degrees. And we're right around that area now at 78. And now the news. Here's Terry with our lead story. Terry?
President Trump is back in the United States after completing a trade agreement with the European Union during his visit to Scotland. The deal boosters even further America's economy and manufacturing capabilities. The European Union will purchase $750 billion in U.S. energy and make new investments of $600 billion in the United States. What is most important, the agreement makes trade balances equal between the world's two largest economies.
President Trump's success in making tariff deals has been so financially successful. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley wants some of that money rolling in to be distributed to American families. Hawley has introduced a bill that would provide a $600 check per adult and child, or for a family of four, $2,400. His bill comes as the Treasury Department announces administration tariffs have brought in $28 billion as of July, and for the year, tariff revenue has totaled around $150 billion.
President Trump has said his administration is also considering a rebate check, but says a first priority is reducing the national debt. Trump issued $1,200 stimulus checks during his first administration.
That gunman who shot and killed 4 people at that Manhattan building on Park Avenue left a note blaming his head injury on professional football. though no one forced him to play the game. 27-year-old Shane Tamara's victims were unarmed and had nothing to do with the football game. Among the dead, a New York police officer, the father of 2 children.
In local news, Liberty Steel, formerly known as Keystone, is trying to make a comeback after laying off several hundred workers. The Bartonville company is seeking a $25 million state grant from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, and a $2.6 million loan from Peoria County. If approved, company officials said they would relocate its Dallas headquarters to the Peoria area and reinvest $70 million in Illinois.
That good news comes after the once popular 50s Diner in the Metro Center announced it is closing. Is there anyone in the room that has not eaten at one time or another at the 50s Diner? And what was its original name?
Made right.
Made Right. You got it.
Right, yep.
So they're going out a bit. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, they're gone.
Yeah, she was packing up stuff Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's
Isn't
time
that a
and place
shame?
for ham and beans.
Yeah, you're right. I love it.
Yeah.
Just a shame. Any rate, other bad news, well, somewhat, at least for the south side of the city of Peoria, the UFS store at 1800 South Adams revealed it's moving to the city's far north end at 8901 North Knoxville. You know where that is?
Oh, and I know exactly where it
Yeah,
is.
Exactly, yeah.
Yep.
And the diner's restaurant closing is immediate, while UFS, once known as what?
Unclaimed freight.
Unclaimed freight will not move until after the coming holiday season. It will occupy space once known as
The Big Lots.
Big Lots. Very good. You passed the test.
Yep, I spent a lot of time in that little shopping center.
Yeah, it is a nice little shopping
It
center,
is.
isn't it?
Peoria County officials announced residents will have an opportunity this Saturday to get rid of some hazardous materials. The county's Sustainability and Resource Conservation Department is teaming with GFL Garbage to host a collection site at Exposition Gardens from 7 a.m. to noon this Saturday. There are some rules. First and foremost, you must be a county resident.
And all items must be labeled and in their original packaging. And acceptable products include oil-based paints. You know, that's the hardest thing to get rid of, isn't it? Oil-based paints. And what else on the list, Roger? Well, old gasoline, lawn chemicals, antifreeze, and drain cleaners. They will not accept fire extinguishers, fireworks, explosives, biohazard, and agricultural waste or Gary Hall.
How about tires?
Nope, it's not on the list, so I don't think they will accept that. But I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
We'll get a hold of someone with the county and find out if tires are on the list. I thought they had at one time just a day to get rid of tires. Did they not? Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, they used to. I don't know if they still do or not. Usually, well, like when you get new tires, the place takes care of it.
Right.
Yes, right.
But then you still see them alongside of the road, so somebody always.
Do you remember what they used to use some tires for? Sandboxes.
Right.
You remember
Yeah.
they
And
would
flower
get a
boxes,
tire?
flowers.
Yeah, you had
Yeah.
flowers. You're right.
Yep. A 59-year-old man reports he was robbed by 2 men at gunpoint this week in the area of Western and Roman Avenue. It happened Tuesday night as the victim was walking on Western. He went to a local hospital and was treated for minor injuries, saying his attackers threw him down to the ground.
And some, I think, good news, business-wise, economically speaking. Peoria officials say they have received 3 bids to purchase the now city-owned properties, once known to my way of thinking as the Commercial National Bank, the Creve Coeur Club, along with an adjacent parking deck. Bid prices were not disclosed by officials. No reason given for the non-disclosure, which I think is kind of fascinating for that matter. Let's look at some of the stories we're following. Let's hear what our friends at WCBU have to say, brought to you by Spoon River Home Health. Been around since 1993, providing home health care, locally owned and operated. Spoon River Home Health, available 24/7. Here's their phone number, 309-245-0723.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Allie Cooper. The city of Pekin has completed a $14 million purchase of the 1,000-acre Ludekin property. Mayor Mary Burris calls the purchase of land between Illinois Route 98 and Sheridan Road a significant milestone for the city, opening doors for development and revitalization.
It also is a bold move, bold step forward in our continuing effort to invest in the future of our city.
A portion of the property is intended for a future connection between Veterans Drive and Interstate 474. The city aims to sell the rest of the property for other developments. That includes a planned $4.5 million sale of about 320 acres for a data center. Governor J.B. Pritzker has enacted 2 laws aimed at addressing gun violence. One adds civil penalties for people who don't properly store their guns at home. The law sets a shorter time frame for people to report lost or stolen guns, which is now 2 days. Pritzker calls it a common-sense measure that's been shown to reduce accidental shootings.
Mandating secure and responsible storage is a critical first step in combating these problems and protecting our communities. If we can prevent even one death or accident through these measures, they will have been more than worth it.
Also taking effect is a mandate that every law enforcement agency go through a federal gun tracing program. The village of Morton and the Morton School District are splitting the cost for the school resource officer at Morton High School. The village and school boards this month each approved the cost-sharing agreement. Morton High has had a school resource officer from the village's police department for 24 years. Prior to the 2024-2025 school year, the village picked up the entire cost. In May, the school district paid the village nearly $116,000 for the resource officer for the past year. The agreement calls for that cost to increase 3.5% every new school year. I'm Allie Cooper, WCBU News.
Oh, thank you very much. And now it's time for sports. And Tyrus is here with the bad news. If you're a Cub fan, they lose. They lose. Cubs lose.
Yes, they do.
Great.
All right, let's start with the MLB and some scores around the league. The Cubs lose to the Brewers 9-3. The Cubs had 3 errors in this one. They're now behind the Brewers 2 games, and will try to avoid the sweep today at 1:10 p.m. I mean, also you can say in Cubs news, Ryan Sandberg, the longtime Cub and great player for them, died at 65.
You seen the picture in front of you?
Yeah, we covered it yesterday.
Yeah.
And I don't mind saying we scooped the big station with an interview with Rocky Vanakan early in the morning and some other thoughts as well. As a matter of fact, you didn't see this because you're
wrong
looking the other way.
Oh, there he is.
Autographed picture of Rhino. And he will be missed. Nice guy, not only outstanding baseball player, but a quality guy, and 65 is far too young.
Mm-hmm.
He was too good for
Exactly.
the Cubs. He should have been on the Cardinals.
In other sports news,
the Cardinals lose to the Marlins 5-0. They will try to go for the series win tonight at 6:45 p.m. White Sox lose to the Phillies 6-3. Pirates win 3-1 against the Giants. Reds lose to the Dodgers 5-4. Padres win 7-1 versus the Mets. Yankees win 7-5 against the Rays. In NFL news, we got football tomorrow. It's the Hall of Fame game between the Chargers and the Lions at 7 p.m.
You're kidding. Football already?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's not even...
August.
Yeah, it's not even August yet. What's going on anyway?
It's that Hall of Fame game, They usually play that one a little early before the other preseason games, which I think is on August 7th. So, anyways, other NFL news: Colts left tackle Bernhard Raimann has agreed to terms on a 4-year, $100 million extension.
So, I saw something on the news before I come in about, was it the Baltimore game where the guy that was playing for him got transferred to another team during the game, and he was a pitcher?
No, you're talking about baseball.
No, it's
He's
baseball.
talking about football. But anyway,
but-
that's all. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Pass-
You're doing sports.
Keep talking.
I'm
It's
just
sports.
asking him about
You're
it.
good.
Yes, he is
Yeah,
good.
it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it definitely happens.
I mean, I saw that and I thought, boy, he comes in, he's playing for one team, and then halfway through the game, he's playing for another team, and he
yep.
had a pretty good inning.
Yeah, sometimes it's a
showing his
rare occasion.
Now,
that,
wait a minute.
That
Did he
happens.
play? Did he get traded to the team that they were playing
Playing.
that day?
Yes.
Yeah.
I never heard of that happen.
It's rare. That's a rare
I
thing
guess
that
it is.
It's a rare thing that happens.
Yeah, he went from one dugout to another one. Right
Yep.
there during the game. Walked over from one dugout to the other one.
That's ridiculous. They could have waited until after the game. See, I tell you, baseball owners, professional owners, they're not the sharpest pencil in the deck, but they've got a lot of money.
But they're the richest in the
Yeah.
deck.
They got a lot of pencils.
Yeah.
There you go.
And no erasers.
Anyways, in some NBA news, the Bulls and Billy Donovan have agreed on a multi-year contract extension, keeping him around in Chicago. Which right. So his kid also coaches. He coaches the Windy City Bulls too. So
I like that. His kin. I haven't heard that since 1946. His
Right.
kin. Is that what you said? His kin. Didn't
mean,
say
that
his
works too.
brother,
His kid.
His uncle. It
Kid.
was his kin.
I heard him say kid.
it's his kid,
Oh, his
Billy Donovan the third.
Okay.
His kids.
Well, that would be his kid. Kin.
Yeah.
He's still his kin, so that works. I mean,
Yeah,
either way.
Gotta take care of them kin folks, you know.
Right.
That's the way we talk down in
That's
Missouri.
right. That's right. And then in some WNBA news, it got a little wild yesterday. So the Phoenix Mercury guard, Clea Cooper, lost her wig mid-game.
Lost her what?
Her wig.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think they played with wigs.
Oh, yeah. Makeup and wigs and all that stuff. So a fan in attendance got tossed from the arena for mocking her.
For wig throwing?
What was this? Was this a roller skating or?
No, this
Oh,
is
the WNBA,
this is
yeah.
WNBA.
Do you remember when roller skating was popular?
Yeah, but this sounds like roller skating to me. Wigs
Yeah.
and everything could fly.
Right. That's true. You're not wrong. But that wasn't the only thing that happened.
What
So,
else do you have?
Tuesday night's game between the Golden State Valkyries and the Atlanta Dream was delayed because a fan chucked an object onto the court.
What was the object?
Okay.
Okay,
Let's not say.
moving on.
Yeah, let's not say.
And it wasn't a Baby Ruth candy bar either.
No.
Okay. Ooh.
That's just.
Drain the
Well,
pool,
what
Roger.
was it then?
Drain the pool.
Well, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Like orangutans and baboons come to mind, but oh my.
Yeah. We just won't say.
Yeah, we won't say it's probably just as well. Are we ending on a low note? Is there anything else? Caitlin Clark's still injured?
Yep, she's still injured, which I think the Fever attendance is down like 53,
Sure it would be.
53%,
53%.
something like that. And then
Should
the-
that tell the officials with the WNBA get their act together and protect this player? Quit letting other players and officials be
They beat her
raided?
up. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then
Idiots.
that All-Star, the WNBA All-Star game was also down quite a bit too. So, yeah, pretty important
you have
to
it.
the league, you know.
Yes, she
Yes,
is.
Yes, it is. All right, is that it, my friend?
Yes, sir.
Anything else in the world of sports? And Cubs better get their pitching together. They have a chance. It is a 3-game series, not a 4-game series.
This is 3, so they got Shoto today.
Well, he's pretty good.
So we'll see if they can.
We'll see. Right now, what was the final yesterday?
Last
night?
9-3. They had
9-3, and the other game was 12-6. So 9 and 12, 21. The Cub pitching has given up in 2 games, averaging more than 10 runs a game.
Yeah.
That isn't going to get you into the
Nope.
World Series.
That's not going to get you a couple wins there either.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tyrus with the latest from the world of sports, exclusively on WAZU. I don't know whether our meteorologist exclusively heard right here on WAZU. Mr. Weather, Kyle Varner, is going to get in touch with us today, but we do need to, because we didn't include it in the news, talk a little bit about that tsunami. Yes,
right?
tsunami. I went to school with tsunami. The anyway, on the West Coast, they had people really excited because people were moving to high grade buildings, high level buildings, and so forth. And I thought they had an explanation that the warning was previous to, in this case, to a watch. I thought a watch came first and then a warning. But some guy on one of the cable channels said it's just the opposite on the West Coast. Is that true, or had he been drinking?
I don't know. Maybe tsunamis are different than tornadoes, but at least with a tsunami, they normally have a couple of hours warning.
A tsunami?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're-
A warning is, or a watch?
I don't know. I'm
Okay.
just saying that they know it's coming. Well, they
Yeah.
they suspect it's coming because, of course, it's precipitated by an earthquake. It was a pretty powerful one. I think it was 8.6.
8.6, 8.8.
Somewhere I thought
Well,
it was
in the
8.6.
eights.
Yes,
let's,
in the
let's
eights.
compromise.
In the
On
eights.
eights. What did you say, Fred?
In the 8s.
Okay, yes. So go ahead. You were making a point?
Well, just saying that it's unusual for the Alaska and the Aleutian Islands and the northwest coast of our country to be worried about a tsunami. But they do have the warnings out. And, of course, Hawaii is right smack in the middle.
Yeah.
So they're,
Honolulu, they were telling people get to high ground.
yeah, and Kauai, too. And I was just thinking, oh, those poor people at Laha'i, they just are still recuperating from that terrible fire. And now they got a terrible tsunami coming. And it's like,
Suddenly, the thought of living in Hawaii doesn't have a great deal of appeal.
not right at the moment.
Have you ever been to Hawaii?
I have.
Oh, you lucky dog. Oh, I shouldn't say that, Roger. You lucky stiff. Remember what they said? You lucky stiff. What year was it? Tell us about it. Beautiful as all the video and
Yes, it was
Picture
beautiful. Trying to think, it was about 1984, I think. About March of 84.
what were
And-
you doing there? Just vacation?
Yep. It was so funny because it was like shortly after New Year's morning, we had been celebrating, my roommate and my good friend and I were up there in Wisconsin, and we're sitting there in the morning drinking our coffee, and here comes this ad on the radio about a trip to Hawaii. And we looked at each other and said, wow, wouldn't that be cool?
I think so.
And so we explored it, and we wound up, Karen's cousin lived in Chicago, so we got her involved. And we drove down, it was quite the night, because Karen was a police dispatcher, and she happened to have that shift. She got over 11 o'clock that night. And so we pick her up in Wisconsin Rapids, and we drive down to Chicago. So we're up I think we were up almost 18 hours straight.
18 hours?
Yes, but you should see the picture of us when we get in Hawaii. We're all pale and tired, but we were in Hawaii and we had a great time.
The one thing I heard about Hawaii from others, the prices are rather exorbitant. Did you find that to be true?
Yes, and a lot of the people we talked to had like 2 and 3 jobs, and this is back in 1984, just to make ends meet. You have to have an apartment and a car and stuff like that. It was,
Well,
yeah.
it's a beautiful place to be. I guess it was every day sunny, pleasant.
Yep, and there'd be like
Wonderful.
maybe afternoon showers and rain a little bit, kind of like Florida, and then it goes away and the sun comes out. And
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
As long as it's not hurricane season or tornado season.
When you how did you get to Vietnam? I'm going to guess by
flew.
plane. Yeah.
Yeah.
You took off from where and landed where?
Well, let's see.
And didn't you have some stops on the way to refuel?
Yeah, we took off. I flew from Peoria to Chicago, and from Chicago to.
Well, if you went from
O'Hare.
Peoria to Chicago, you went by commercial.
Wait.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, now
I left from Oakland, California, on one big plane to go.
Okay,
to
was
Vietnam.
that the military, Matt's Air
Yeah.
Transport Service?
Yeah, it was a TWA.
But it was commercially chartered.
Right. TWA.
So it was a TWA plane, not a military air transport service.
That's right.
Really? Were civilians on the plane, or was it strictly just military
Just military, and the only civilians on the plane were the stewardesses
people?
and the
crew.
and the pilot and
And the crew,
co-pilot.
yeah.
crew.
So you left from Oakland
right.
and flew to
Anchorage, Alaska.
where you landed and refueled?
Right. And we got
You
out.
didn't get very far, did he?
Well, no. Then,
Yeah.
then we went from there to
Yes.
Japan, I think. Yeah, it was Japan.
Flew from
No, wait. Let me think.
Anchorage to Japan. I'll bet you had a stop along the way.
Yeah.
A&W stop or drive-in or anything like that?
No.
No? All right.
No, I think we stopped in Japan, and then we went from there to Saigon.
And that was the longest flight had to be Anchorage to Japan.
Yeah. And
So did you log how many hours you were sitting in the same seat
they
virtually?
okay. I do know that we lost a day going there, and we gained it back. When I left from Cameron Bay and flew back here,
Yes.
there was if you went by the time on your watch, it only took us an hour and a half.
I'll take
2
your word
hours.
for it.
Yeah.
All right, 6:32 is our time, and let's get into the news and weather and our usual Wednesday morning quiz. Hey, let's start with the weather brought to you by Mr. Weather Kyle Varnold of Fortner Insurance. Kyle is an insurance professional. He can review your portfolio of coverage for home, auto, life, and health to make sure you're getting what you're paying for. Kyle Varnold can be reached today at 682-0519. Well, let's see. We have a flood watch from 7 this morning to 7 tomorrow morning. Keep that in mind because we're going to get some heavy rain. However, for the first part of the day, mostly cloudy. And in the afternoon after 5, showers and thunderstorms. And into tonight, for that matter, it will be not as hot today. Hallelujah for that part. High of 83. And as we mentioned, more rain tonight with a low 66. How about tomorrow? It'll be cloudy early, then gradual clearing, becoming sunny. In the meantime, in between, more rain, a high tomorrow, only 77. Hallelujah. Friday is our day of the week. Sunny and breezy, a high of 78. More of the same on Saturday, high of 79. And right now, our temperature standing at 78 degrees. And now with the news, here's Terry.
President Trump is back in the United States after completing a trade agreement with the European Union during his visit to Scotland. The deal boosters even further America's economy and manufacturing capabilities. The European Union will purchase $750 billion in U.S. energy and make new investments of $600 billion in the United States. The agreement makes trade balances equal between the world's two largest economies. President Trump's success in making tariff deals has been so financially successful, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley wants some of the money rolling in to be distributed to American families. Hawley has introduced a bill that would provide a $600 check per adult and child, or, for a family of 4, $2,400. The gunman who shot and killed 4 people at that Manhattan building on Park Avenue left a note blaming his head injury on professional football, though no one forced him, and he did not play professional football. 27-year-old Shane Tamura's victims were unarmed and had nothing to do with the game. In local news, Liberty Steel, formerly known as Keystone, is trying to make a comeback after laying off several hundred workers. The Bartonville company is seeking a $25 million state grant from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity and a $2.6 loan from Peoria County. Actually, that's $2.6 million. If approved, company officials said they would locate relocate its Dallas headquarters to the Peoria area and reinvest $70 million in Illinois. That good news comes after the once popular 50s diner in the Metro Center announced it's closing. And the UFS store at 1800 South Adams revealed it's moving to the city's far north end at 8901 North Knoxville. The diner's closing is immediate, while UFS, once known as Unclaimed Freight, will not move until after the coming holiday season. UFS will occupy the space once known as Big Lots.
Oh, I love that store.
You like them both.
Yes, you're correct. I remember when Unclaimed Freight first opened, and I guess they got to the point where that doesn't sound very marketable, Unclaimed Freight. In other words, did you take stuff off of railroad cars? And
Yes, they did.
sold it?
Well, that's kind of how
Yeah.
it started.
That's
Yeah,
how
they
it got started. wasn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And my dad, he went there quite a bit. He loved to go there just about every day he could because he'd like to see what was new there. And one thing you did, if you saw something you wanted, you better
Yeah, go ahead.
You better buy it then.
Oh, yeah, because it won't
It'll
be
be
there,
gone.
and it might be a one-time thing. You might,
right.
Sure.
yeah, Farmore.
That's right.
Farmore was like that. You go and you get something you really, really like it, so you go back and then you never see it again.
That's right.
Peoria County officials announced residents will have an opportunity this Saturday to get rid of some hazardous materials. The county Sustainability and Resource Conservation Department is teaming with GFL Garbage to host a collection site at Expo Gardens from 7 a.m. to noon this Saturday. There are some rules.
Oh, really?
Yes, first and foremost, you must be a Peoria County resident.
All right.
All items must be labeled and in their original packaging. Acceptable products include oil-based paints, old gasoline, lawn chemicals, antifreeze, and drain cleaners. They will not accept fire extinguishers, fireworks, explosives, biohazard, and agricultural waste. A 59-year-old man reports he was robbed by two men at gunpoint this week in the area of Western and Roman Avenue. It happened Tuesday night as the victim was walking on Western. He went to a local hospital and was treated for minor injuries, saying his attackers threw him down to the ground. Peoria officials say they have 3 bids to purchase the now city-owned properties, once known as the Commercial Bank and the Creve Coeur Club, along with an adjacent parking deck. Bid prices were not disclosed by officials. No reason given for the
We
non-disclosure.
need to know that, don't we? Don't we need to know what kind of proposals, or at least certainly when the final one is selected?
Oh, I think, yeah, when they get to that point, I don't think they need to disclose every single step right at the
Well,
beginning.
okay, I didn't say every single step, but how about one step?
One step.
About what's going on, you know,
Yeah.
Well,
generality.
transparency.
I wonder if the rule applies. There is a rule, you know, that government is supposed to accept the most responsible bid. But you can play games with the
Yeah,
word
responsible.
Exactly. And government does play games with that.
No, you mean saying they play fast and
Responsible.
loose?
Responsible bid would be the most, the cheapest one.
No.
Not always.
Not always. You know, if it's a company that doesn't have the financial resources, and they may go belly up during the process. So, well, we'll let government officials decide that, and then, as usual, we'll criticize it.
Sure.
But that's the American way, isn't it?
That's what we do here.
All right, time for the quiz, ladies and gentlemen.
We don't need to wait for some towers, do we?
You know, we don't know how long he's going to be, so we start the quiz and hope that he will join us.
Okay.
And it's a cornucopia of questions, I understand. Is that right, mister?
Got your
Variety?
science hat on?
Yes. No, I have never had a science hat to put on. But let's give it a shot.
Hey, he's back.
Tyrus is here. He's fresh out of high school. So what's your first question?
What is the average salt content of the world's oceans? Average, it's a percentage.
Like a percent.
Okay.
85%.
Oh, no, way low.
Oh.
Thanks for leading off with
Okay.
the admonition.
Okay, so now
to
you
tell
guys
us,
take it from there.
Yeah, 12%.
30?
12%.
You're getting closer, Roger.
7,
You're even closer.
6,
Closer.
5.
Other way. Closer.
8.
She's closer.
6.
3.5%.
3.5.
That's all?
We flunked that one.
Boy,
didn't
we sure did.
Woo.
You know, I was with you because I kept thinking, wherever you have ocean, they all tell
Yeah,
you
we're
there's
mostly
salt.
It's
water.
saltwater, yeah,
Yeah.
the buoyancy and all that. Interesting. Okay.
Where are the strongest tidal currents found? Tides. You know, like for the.
The tide rushes in, the tide rushes out. We
It's-
all gather around. We all begin to shout.
It would be a.
Hey, hey.
It'd be a
Hey,
country.
hey, Uncle Fudd.
Be a country in Europe.
In country.
Ooh, in Europe?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Italy.
No.
Okay. That was my guess.
Wait a minute. Yeah, that's in Europe.
Okay.
It begins with an F.
France?
No.
Finland.
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 I'll take
Ooh,
a
good
win
for
on
you.
that.
Yeah.
Because I figured if it wasn't around the Mediterranean Ocean,
That had to be north.
it'd have to be north like the Baltic Sea.
Yeah, but I just can't figure Finland was strong.
You know, years ago when we were on WOAM, Breakfast with Royce and Roger, we got a card from a ham radio operator in Finland, said, I heard your show. That isn't exactly what he said, but the thought. So I sent him a letter in return and said, hey, we would love to talk to you on our show during the program, and said, send us your phone number, and he never did. I was kind of disappointed. Would have been nice. At any rate, what's your next question?
While a hurricane forms in the Atlantic, what is it called in the Pacific when it forms?
A typhoon.
Typhoon. See?
Very good.
She got it.
Where's the bell?
Ding
we
that
can
bell.
give, come in.
Here. We'll put Terry in charge of dinging the
Yeah,
bell.
we'll put Roger in
put
charge
it
of it.
over there for Terry, because dang it, she will get all the answers.
Okay.
Yes?
What is another name for a tidal wave?
Oh,
Tsunami. Why do I have trouble with
I don't
that?
know, it's like-
Tsunami.
Tsunami.
Yeah.
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 You got it, Roger. High atmospheric pressure will result in what?
Rain.
Other way. If you don't have rain, what do you got?
Sunshine.
If you got
Good weather?
clear blue skies.
Okay.
I think we got it.
I would say
You,
Yeah.
you both got it.
I think we that was a win for the team.
Okay, what is the name of the weather instrument used to measure atmospheric pressure?
Kyle Arnold.
That's right.
A barometer?
Yes,
Barometer.
he's our instrument, but a barometer's what he.
And Kyle, too.
My
Kyle-
answer.
Kyle
no.
uses a barometer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, I'm not sure he. Okay, Nimbus Cumulus and Stratus are what?
Clouds.
Clouds.
Clouds. Clouds. Everybody says
Yep, clouds, yeah.
That's right.
That had to be one of the easiest questions we've ever had.
Yes.
I don't know was it a train?
Thank you, Phil.
Yes. No, we were sure to getting one right.
Who's buried in Grant's tomb? Let me
Yeah,
think about that.
Yeah.
What type of cloud appears as blanket of clouds in the sky? ASA.
As a blanket?
Maybe that's what he wants to say, yeah. What type of cloud appears as a blanket of clouds in the sky? Those three names of clouds.
So cumulus would be one.
Yeah, well, no, just one of them.
I would say more like the stratus.
You got it.
Good, Terry.
What continent holds the record for hottest temperature ever recorded? Let's see.
Would
Ever
that-
recorded. What type of cloud? Wait a minute. What
Yes.
I gotta get my glasses fixed. What continent holds the record for hottest temperature over records? What continent?
A continent. Ooh.
Is Africa a continent?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what my answer going to be.
Guess the equator does kind of run through there. Yeah, I'd have to go with Africa.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a big hint.
Okay.
Okay.
We live on that continent.
North America?
Yep.
Well, you know, I know.
I never looked at it as.
Well, Death Valley gets pretty hot there in
Yes.
California.
You're
Well, you're right about that because my
Right.
sister lives right in the edge of the desert, and it's not unusual for during the summer to record 123 degrees.
Yeah.
134
I
at.
was thinking
At Needles?
No.
I gotta laugh at the name of this place. 134 at Furnace Creek, California.
Oh, how
I
appropriate.
wonder why they're named Furnace Creek.
Is and Needles also one of the hottest spots
I guess
in
the
California?
yeah, but still, Furnace Creek recorded.
Furnace Creek.
Yeah. What is the calm area at the center of a hurricane called?
Oh, you guys all know that. Same as the.
He said it. I heard him.
Yeah, the eye.
The eye of the typhoon.
Yeah.
Very
According-
good. Let's hear it for Tyrus.
Yeah.
And in a hurricane, the eye is the safest place to be because it's nice and calm in there.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens when it moves?
And then the other side comes back, I guess.
You're no longer in the center, but you're in the tornado.
That's where when they fly those planes, they like to get in the center, in the eye of the storm.
Well, I'll take your word for it there, Captain.
Or as Ariel Spitzak
Or the
wagon
sea.
said, riding the storm out.
Ride the storm out.
Yep.
Okay.
According to NASA, approximately how thick is the Earth's atmosphere?
Is this a percentage as well?
No, it's a number of miles.
Of miles? Okay.
Pretty thick.
Before we dig into China,
No. According to NASA, approximately how thick is the Earth's atmosphere? You know, the stuff we breathe?
Pretty thick.
I'm going to say 10 miles.
You're low. You're very low.
Okay.
Tyrus?
5 million.
Whoa, no.
is it double digit?
It's 2 digits, yeah. Double digits.
28
25.
miles. 28 miles.
Oh, a lot more than that.
All right.
100.
72.
You just went over it. You went over it.
71.
70.
No, 60.
60? Okay.
You didn't get another chance.
60 million.
She said 60. I heard her. Oh,
Okay.
never mind.
No, I
What is the name of the instrument? What is the name of the instrument to measure the magnitude of an earthquake?
Oh, shoot. It's the.
They always say it's number block.
It's on
on
the
this-
the Richter scale.
Richter scale, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
And if you get a 10 on the Richter scale,
Well, we just had
better have
8.6 or 8.8.
Yeah.
if you get a 10, you better have
You're
one
in
to
trouble.
get up
Who
there.
was Richter must have been
Somebody
the guy
named
that
Richter.
invented
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
I'll look it up later.
Okay. Where was the strongest earthquake ever recorded? It's on a continent, and it's not North America.
Is Australia considered?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
continent.
Australia is, yeah, but
But that's
Is
not
that
the
the-
right
Is that
one.
it? No.
Would have been Europe,
nope,
Asia,
nope.
the Antarctic?
It's in
Or
South
Antarctic.
America.
South
Oh.
America.
What earthquake was ever recorded in this country in South America?
Africa?
No,
No.
South America, not
That's-
Africa.
oh,
Ecuador.
in South-
No.
Nope.
Begins with a C.
Colombia,
It's what you
gem
have.
of the ocean.
It's something that people like to eat. Begins with a C.
Cucumbers.
Talking about Croatia.
Okay, South America, C.
Country of, what would you eat with crackers and it's hot.
Cheese.
Begins with a C.
Cheese, soup. My mind's just going blank.
Chile.
Chile.
Oh,
Chili.
Chile, of course.
You
Valdez.
know, a better
yeah.
clue would have been you put it on hot dogs.
Okay.
Chili dog. Those are
Valvita in 1960, 9.4 to 9.6. So when I said if you got a 10 on the Richter scale, you better be on one of those balloons that takes you up in the air because the whole
Well,
world is coming apart.
even if you weren't in a balloon, you might be taken up in the air with or without a
Or
balloon.
either up or down.
good. That's right.
Yeah.
You're going right through the floor.
friend of mine when I was in
Yeah.
Cameron Bay. He was in Anchorage, Alaska, when they had an earthquake, and he says that's the reason he volunteered to go to Vietnam, because he wanted to get out of Alaska. He didn't want,
Want to get out of Alaska? Alaska was beautiful.
Yeah, but when there's an earthquake and you got your family with you, and all he
Yeah.
could do was just get his family underneath the car and just hold on and hope that the earth didn't open up in it. He said, no, he says, there's a lot worse things than going to being shot at than when the earth comes apart. It's scary. Where is the world's oldest tree located?
California?
You got it, Roger.
Well, thank you.
Hey.
What is the state tree of New York?
New York.
Oh, he's got, what is the state tree of New York, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Vermont?
Same tree then, huh?
Same tree.
Sugar maple?
You got it.
Nice. How would you know that?
I lived in Wisconsin for 8 years. I
Yeah.
should learn something.
Okay, yeah.
And that's
Sugar
probably where they
maple.
get the maple syrup from, right?
They do, and also, of course, Vermont's known for its maple
Yeah.
syrup. Okay.
What part of the plant produces most of its food? What part of the plant
I'm gonna say.
produces most of its
I'm
food?
gonna say what you wouldn't think, and I'm say
It's
the
a multiple
the
choice.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Multiple choice. And the multiple choice is leaves, stems, root, or flowers. One of those is the correct answer.
I'm gonna say root. That's what I was gonna say initially, but that's I don't.
I was going to say leaf, and it's because of the green, the
You
chlorophyll,
got it,
Yeah.
leaves.
the leaves.
Very good.
Okay. All right.
Apple seeds contain what poison?
Ooh.
I didn't know that.
Arsenic,
No?
cyanide.
You got it.
Really?
So,
I was gonna say
if you see somebody buying a bunch of apples and all they're doing is taking out the seeds, you better not mess with them, because they're going to kill you. It's cyanide, huh?
That's why you court, like when the people do these juicing or make cider, you really should take the corm and take the seeds out because
Right.
it has the cyanide in it.
Yeah, that core. That was one of the best inventions. That core
The
thing.
core for the apples.
Stick it down there and it opens, cuts it into little small, equal sizes.
that is
right.
neat,
That
yeah.
does it.
Pretty good invention. Yeah.
A climbing plant is also known as what?
Ivy climbs.
A climbing plant is also known as what? It's so simple.
A vine.
You got it.
Ooh, good for you.
Thank you very much.
What element makes up approximately 75% of the sun? What element makes up approximately 75% of the sun?
Helium?
Nope. But you're in the right area.
Oh, so it must be a gas.
Yes.
Yeah. Nitrogen.
You got it, Roger.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
And helium together.
Approximately how hot is the surface of the sun?
Very.
Very hot. Yeah. 75.
Is it like triple digits?
Yeah, I'd say
Oh, it's way up there.
10,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
And I want to see the guy that put that barometer in that thing to check the temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He must have been really.
And that's it.
That's
That's
Well,
it.
ladies and gentlemen, I
There you
don't
go.
mind telling you what
That wasn't too bad, was it?
no,
No,
well,
that was-
very happy. Let's see how we do with the pet tip of the day.
Today's Pet Tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets large and small 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little-known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. When you are shopping for a new pet and have chosen to make the responsible choice of adopting from a rescue, make sure that you are going through a respectable, well-known rescue group. It is very sad to say, but there are a lot of disreputable groups or individuals playing on your sympathies. So how do you find a legitimate rescue? Check with your state's listing of ratings for 501c3 organizations. This listing will tell you how long they've been in business and what percentage of their money goes for pets versus salaries and facilities, as reported to the IRS in their latest 990. It's an impartial determination. The other thing to look for is if this site or rescue group only adopts out a certain type of animal that could be called a designer breed. These are often puppy mills masquerading as rescues. You need to research these fully. Now, that's not to say that a Schnauzer or Pit Bull rescue group is not legit. Those are specific breeds. What I'm talking about is a group that has dogs they call cute names like Bassadors or Chiweenies or Poodles mixed with some other breed, and these are the only breeds they offer. That's your red flag to check further. Being a responsible pet owner starts before you even purchase your pet. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's Pet Tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Yeah, just remember this, Gary. When you're in front of a microphone, always assume it is open.
Right.
That's one of the
Don't
cardinals.
drop it
in-
either.
Yeah, exactly right. Hey, we want to tell you that it's 76 degrees, and it'll be cloudy today. Showers and thunderstorms after 5. That's important to yours truly, because I have a guy coming to cut down some trees that I planted when we first started. Instead of a fence, planted some evergreens, and those suckers have grown like they're on Miracle-Gro. And at a certain point, my next door neighbor, he had a tree in the front yard. It grew like crazy, and it was into my yard. No big deal. I was happy with it because it provided some nice shade. Well, he decided it was growing too fast and too far, and had it cut down, and told me, so I'm going to cut that. I said, well, if you cut that down, I better cut mine down that's growing in your backyard, for that matter. And he said, no big deal, but it is a big deal. You know, when you plant these things, you think they're always going to stay, within a reasonable size, but my goodness, trees grow, and you hate to cut them down because they do, provide a
shade.
benefit to.
Windbreak sometimes.
Yeah, exactly right.
That's one of the more famous things that Peoria is known for. As a
Cutting
tree,
down trees?
No, as a tree town, tree city. We're famous for that.
I've never heard that. Does that mean that we have more trees than any other town or city of comparable size? I mean, explain that, would you,
Yes.
Mr. Quizman?
I
Yes.
think that's exactly the right answer. What you said.
Okay.
What did I say?
You said that for a town our size,
Yes.
we have more trees than most towns that are our size. That is our size. That's because of,
Well, look at all the parks we have. Glenelg,
Right.
Yeah.
Detweiler.
Oh, yeah. We there's no
Summer.
question. We do have beautiful parks.
We do.
Colonel Park, Detweiler, Bradley Park is a nice park. Summer Park.
so
And
are the trees that are they gonna be are they messing up the power lines or anything like that, or?
well, we know they come along worried about that and do trim trees.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have news, weather, sports coming up. Our barrister of the week, of course, Kevin Sullivan, joining us in the next 1 hour. You're listening to Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois, and on YouTube. Pleasant good morning. Where is the camera? There it is. To everybody, thanks for joining us. Love seeing our folks.
You too.
You bet. Good morning, everybody. Welcome for our news block, news, weather, and sports coming up. And we'll start with the weather brought to you by our good friend Sam Lilly and Associates. You know, Sam has been in the insurance industry now for, my goodness, over 40 years, as a matter of fact. Sam Lilly's really a neat guy, and he's one of our sponsors. And you can learn more about the services that he makes available, including personalized service. He'll come to your house and work with you, and that's quite unique in today's world. And you can reach Sam Lilly at 309-245-4374. Now let's get into the weather. And what do you have for us, Roger? Well, for one thing, there's a flood watch from 7 this morning to 7 tomorrow morning. Otherwise, today it'll be mostly cloudy with showers and thunderstorms after 5 p.m. Not as hot. We're only going to get up to 83 degrees. Hallelujah for that. Tonight, more showers, a low 66. Tomorrow, cloudy early, then gradual clearing, becoming sunny, and a high of 77. Look for rain tomorrow. And tell you what, Friday is a beautiful day. Probably the day of the week, sunny and breezy, 78. More of the same on Saturday, a high of 79 right now. A pleasant 76 degrees. Now with the lead story, here's Terry.
President Trump is back in the United States after completing a trade agreement with the European Union during his visit to Scotland. The deal boosters even further America's economy and manufacturing capabilities. The European Union will purchase $750 billion in U.S. energy and make new investments of $600 billion in the United States. What is most important, the agreement makes trade balances equal between the world's two largest economies.
President Trump's success in making tariff deals has been so financially successful, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley wants some of the money rolling in to be distributed to American families. Hawley has introduced a bill that would provide a $600 check per adult and child, or for a family of four, $2,400. His bill comes as the Treasury Department announces administration tariffs have brought in $28 billion as of July for the year, tariff revenue totaling around $150 billion.
President Trump has said his administration is also considering a rebate check, but says a first priority is reducing the national debt. Trump issued $1,200 stimulus checks during his first administration.
In other news, that gunman who shot and killed 4 people at that Manhattan building on Park Avenue in New York City, well, he left a note blaming his head injury on professional football, even though he never played professional football. And, of course, no one forced him to play the game. 27-year-old nutcase Shane Tamara, his victims were unarmed and had nothing to do with playing football. Among the dead, a New York City police officer, the father of 2 children, and I guess his wife is expecting a 3rd one.
Yes.
Terrible story.
In local news, Liberty Steel, formerly known as Keystone, is trying to make a comeback after laying off several hundred workers. The Bartonville company is seeking a $25 million state grant from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity and a $2.6 billion loan from Peoria County. If approved, company officials said they would relocate its Dallas headquarters to the Peoria area and reinvest $70 million in Illinois.
Well, that sounds like a fair trade. What do you think?
Yes.
Okay. And that good news comes after the once popular 50s diner, once known as Made Right, in the Metro Center announced it is closing and is closed as we speak. And also the UFS store at 1800 South Adams on the south side revealed it's moving to the city's far north end at 8900 North Knoxville. The Diners Restaurant closing is immediate, as we mentioned, while UFS, once known as Unclaimed Freight, will not move until after the coming holiday season. That is an interesting development, to say the least. UFS will occupy space once known as
Big Lots.
Big Lots.
Peoria County officials announced residents will have an opportunity this Saturday to get rid of some hazardous materials. The county's Sustainability and Resource Conservation Department is teaming with GFL Garbage to host a collection site at Expo Gardens from 7 a.m. to noon this Saturday. There are some rules, like first and foremost, you must be a county resident.
Yeah. Have any of you taken advantage of those events?
No, I haven't.
I have on more than one occasion. Usually get rid of some old paint. You can't just throw that in the garbage, nor should you, for that matter. Carp do not like oil.
They don't like the paint?
No, they don't like it. They like to look at them, but all items must be labeled and in their original packaging. Acceptable products include oil-based paints, old gasoline, lawn chemicals, antifreeze, and drain cleaners. They will not accept fire extinguishers, fireworks. Some of this is self-explanatory. Explosives, here, have this cannonball I found in my backyard. Biohazard and agricultural waste.
A 59-year-old man reports he was robbed by two men at gunpoint this week in the area of Western and Roman Avenues. It happened Tuesday night as the victim was walking on Western. He went to a local hospital and was treated for minor injuries, saying his attackers threw him down to the ground.
And Peoria officials say they have 3 bids to purchase the now city-owned properties I remember as the Commercial National Bank, the Creve Coeur Club, along with an adjacent parking deck. Bid prices not disclosed by officials, no reason given for the non-disclosure. That's a look at some of the stories we're following. Now we have news coming up from WCBU, brought to you by Steve Sink. Really a neat guy and a pleasant fellow to do business with. He's the managing partner of PHX Affiliates. Steve has been in that business as a broker for more than 20 years. What he's been doing, and he continues to do, and he'll do it for you as well, he helps people purchase a business, get rid of a business. More information available from Steve. You can reach him today at 309-696-8508. Now let's hear what the news is from WCBU.
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm Allie Cooper. The city of Pekin has completed a $14 million purchase of the 1,000-acre Ludekin property. Mayor Mary Burris calls the purchase of land between Illinois Route 98 and Sheridan Road a significant milestone for the city, opening doors for development and revitalization.
It also is a bold move, bold step forward in our continuing effort to invest in the future of our city.
A portion of the property is intended for a future connection between Veterans Drive and Interstate 474. The city aims to sell the rest of the property for other developments. That includes a planned $4.5 million sale of about 320 acres for a data center. Governor J.B. Pritzker has enacted 2 laws aimed at addressing gun violence. One adds civil penalties for people who don't properly store their guns at home. The law sets a shorter time frame for people to report lost or stolen guns, which is now 2 days. Pritzker calls it a common sense measure that's been shown to reduce accidental shootings.
Mandating secure and responsible storage is a critical first step in combating these problems and protecting our communities. If we can prevent even one death or accident through these measures, they will have been more than worth it.
Also taking effect is a mandate that every law enforcement agency go through a federal gun tracing program. The Village of Morton and the Morton School District are splitting the cost for the school resource officer at Morton High School. The village and school boards this month each approved the cost-sharing agreement. Morton High has had a school resource officer from the village's police department for 24 years. Prior to the 2024-2025 school year, the village picked up the entire cost. In May, the school district paid the village nearly $116,000 for the resource officer for the past year. The agreement calls for that cost to increase 3.5% every new school year. I'm Allie Cooper, WCBU News.
Hey, there we have all the latest from WCBU. Now it's going into the dugout, and lo and behold, waiting in the dugout with the latest is our sports guy, Tyrus Gilliam. Good morning, Tyrus.
Give us your best pitch.
Good morning. Thank you, Roger. Let's start in the MLB and some scores around the league. The Cubs lose to the Brewers 9-3.
Yay.
The Cubs had 3 errors in this game. They're now 2 behind the Brewers, and we'll try to avoid the sweep today at 1:10 p.m. So, let's see if they win. They got Shoto Imanaga on the mound, and also, Cubs news, Ryan Sandberg. We're going to still continue to honor him today. Old Rhino. The Cardinals lose 5-0 to the Marlins. Cardinals will try to avoid the sweep. No, they'll go for the series win today at 6:45 p.m. White Sox lose to the Phillies 6-3. Pirates win 3-1 against the Giants. Reds lose to the Dodgers 5-4. Padres win 7-1 versus the Mets. Yankees win 7-5 against the Rays. And then the Blue Jays and Orioles executed a bit of business between games of their doubleheader yesterday, as Baltimore traded right-hander Sir Anthony Dominguez and cash to the Toronto in exchange for minor league righty Jerron Watts Brown. Both clubs announced that swap, and Chad Green was designated for assignment and opened up a spot for him. And that's why he was able to pitch in that second game of the doubleheader. So, some little crazy news there. Yeah, you're right.
Wonder if they gave him a good locker.
Right. Or just anything. Here you go. As he came over. Some NFL news. We got football tomorrow. It's the Hall of Fame game between the Chargers and Lions at 7 p.m. Also, in NFL news, Colts left tackle Bernhard Raimann has agreed to terms on a 4-year, $100 million contract extension. NBA news, the Bulls and Billy Donovan have agreed on a multi-year contract extension, keeping him around for years to come. In WNBA news, got a little crazy yesterday. The Phoenix Mercury guard, Clea Cooper, lost her wig mid-game. A fan in attendance got tossed from the arena for mocking her.
Only one fan?
Yeah, yep, just that one fan.
Oh.
Giving her some, grief. Tuesday night's game between the Golden State Valkyries and the Atlanta Dream was delayed because a fan chucked an object onto the court. I don't think we need to get into what that object was.
Well, then drop the story if you don't have the details.
Was it a ship?
Well, I do know what it is.
Oh, I
It's
know
just
you do.
Was
I'm
it,
just pulling your leg part of the expression.
did it have,
Enough to interrupt the game.
did it have anything to do with it being in the Navy? A certain part of a ship in the Navy?
yeah, maybe. It was a
brig.
it was a neon. It was also neon green. So yeah.
Neon green. Ooh.
So yeah. So it was enough to stop the game.
Moving along.
Moving along,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
our report.
I would
hope
Back
that-
to you
yeah, I
guys.
would, yeah.
That stinks. You know that? That stinks. Yeah.
All right, hour number 2 of Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois. Also on YouTube, and if you want to access it, you go to breakfastwithrogerandfriends.com, and there's a place to say, watch now, and we're here. Good morning. Go wave to our fans. Oh, 17,000 of them.
That's right.
Hey, what's going on in Chicago this weekend? We haven't talked about it. Annual event. Our two electronics guys, Scott and Chris, are going to be up there.
Lollapalooza.
Yes. Would you explain to me what that is? I know it's a big music festival.
That's all I know, too.
but
Big music festival, that's all I
Where'd
know.
the word
Where'd it come from?
Lollapalooza
Where'd it come from?
Yeah. Everybody gets on the phone
Yeah.
and looks and see what's coming up. We will tell you what's coming up here on our program. Our Wednesday morning visit with Defense Attorney Kevin Sullivan, and in the 8 o'clock hour, we'll be talking with State Senator, where's the Representative Travis Weaver? I forget
He's
that
a
name.
representative.
He's representative, yeah. 93rd District, I believe.
I believe
If my
so.
memory serves me right, and it rarely does, but on occasion, okay. And he has a special guest who will be joining us as well. And you haven't been to Ottawa lately. I'm kind of surprised. There for a while, Gary Hall, you were going to Ottawa quite a bit. Were you going up there for business, or they used to have a show club up there?
Last week on a Tuesday, I went up there and came back.
Oh,
For a
on
meeting.
one day? Yeah.
All in one day.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, how long a drive is it to Ottawa?
Well,
Is that an Indian name? I'm going to guess it is.
Ottawa Indians.
Yeah, Ottawa tribe.
Yeah. You know what? There's about 4 or 5 different ways you can go up there, but I've tried just about all of them, and it's an hour and a half.
No matter which way yeah.
That's right. Unless you run into some bad traffic or
Usually,
bad
if 39, you take 39, is that usually the route you go
Yeah.
on? Yeah. What'd you
Or-
find out?
or you can take 74 to
55?
55, and
That will do it too?
then take that to
La Salle, Peru?
yeah, La Salle, Peru, and then from the Salle, Peru, you get to Ottawa.
Okay. What'd you
What you
find
got,
out?
Rod? What you got?
So it's an archaic slang word for
Music.
Party.
it's meaning something extraordinary or impressive is Lollapalooza.
La
Yep.
Palooza.
So that's what we call this.
La Palooza.
So that's where they got that
That's what
from.
we call this show, Lollapalooza.
Yep. Something extraordinary. or
Extraordinary.
Impressive.
Impressive.
I like that better.
Lollapalooza.
La Palooza.
Lollapalooza.
How do you spell it?
Oh, okay.
L-O.
Lollapalooza.
Yep. Lollapalooza, just like it sounds.
Sold for
It was really
$25.
sad. It's listing 11 of the headliners this year.
All
I
right.
recognize one.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm a little behind.
And which
in
one
current
do you
music.
recognize?
Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh.
The Carpenters?
Okay. No.
The Karen Carpenter? and-
No.
Yeah.
Sabrina
No,
Carpenter.
she's around my age.
That young, huh?
Yeah.
Yep, she's a kid. So who else they got there?
Yeah. Who else is there?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness,
throw out
that's
your
a
names,
good.
let's see.
You know that
Yeah,
would be a
he's a
good
good
name for
performer.
a band. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Olivia
Featuring
Olivia Rodrigo.
Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Tyler, the creator.
Oh boy.
Rufus Du Sol, Luke Combs.
Okay.
Twice.
I know Luke
Luke
Combs.
Combs, I know that name.
I know three.
$8 AP Rocky. Korn. Gracie.
Corn, I know that one.
Gracie Abrams.
You know those, do you, Gary?
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
for you.
Gracie Abrams, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Like I said, I recognize one.
You don't know.
Well, I know
Olivia
this.
Rodrigo?
It
You don't know Olivia Rodrigo?
Nope.
Really?
quite a number of people show up for that event. This crowd is all. We missed yesterday's day in history, so put your thinking caps on.
Oh boy.
Because
Where is that at?
Well, we have two wonderful questions. I don't know whether we'll get them both in this portion, but on this day, yesterday,
Yesterday.
July 29th, 1981, a big event took place in Europe. What was it?
The wedding of Diana Spencer and Prince Charles?
How would you know that? I think you're cheating.
No, because I got up early to watch it on TV.
Oh boy.
The fairy tale
The
wedding
fairy tale
That's
of
right.
Lady Diana Spencer and Charles, Prince of
Wales.
Wales.
Prince of Wales.
took place where?
In England.
At
do you wanna-
where?
I think it was Westminster Abbey.
No.
No.
In London.
Westchester.
Well-known place. And I saw a performance of a Christmas program there when I was in the U.S. Army. And we have
Wow.
a facility in Peoria close to the same name.
Remember the cathedrals?
Well, it is a cathedral. Which one?
I don't remember.
Plus,
Yes. Are you with me, Gary?
something cathedral.
Saint who? Saint who?
St. Anthony's.
St.
No.
Michael.
No.
St. Peter.
St. Paul.
St. Paul is correct. Very good.
Paul.
Keep going through the
And it was a televised ceremony all over the world,
Yep.
watched by how many people do they estimate?
Oh, millions.
In 3 digit. Millions is right. 3 digits.
I'm going to say 120 million.
Low. Too low.
Too
Way
low.
too low.
50 million.
Way too low.
250 million.
Way too low.
Wow.
500
Are we
million.
talking
Too low.
700,
85 million.
750 million.
You're exactly right, Gary. Took a while, but congratulations. Thank you very much.
Not exactly right.
Diana arrived at St. Paul's Cathedral in what kind of a coach?
A
It was
horse
a-
drawn.
it was a glass
Horse-drawn.
coach.
It
I mean,
was a glass coach, is correct. Her dress was designed by, you'll never get this.
Oh, yes, the Emmanuel's, David.
Very good.
And it was hideous.
David and Elizabeth Emmanuel. And how long was the train? Meaning.
On the dress, not the
yes,
train.
that's right.
6 feet.
It was called a train,
6 feet long?
two digit.
Oh,
12.
15.
12 feet long.
18.
25.
25 is correct. Let's hear it for Tyrus, a specialist in wedding dresses.
You know something
That's
about
right.
trains too, don't you?
The two of them wanted to set a record for the longest train in royal wedding history. During the ceremony, Diana and Charles were the first British royals to forget or forego what word in their vows?
Obey.
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 Isn't that something?
Oh,
I did
boy.
not know that. And Charles forgot to do what?
Kiss the bride.
Exactly right. Forgot to kiss his Diana to seal his vows.
Oh my gosh.
However, he kissed her later. No kidding.
On the balcony.
On the Buckingham Palace balcony. Good. You did watch it, didn't
Yes,
you?
I
Only
did.
because he had to.
And it started a new royal tradition of kissing in public view on the balcony. The world remained fascinated as the media followed the birth of their children, their marital difficulties. Of course, the media is going to follow that. And what happened August 28th, 1996?
Diana was killed in Paris, France, in a car accident.
Incorrect.
Oh, the divorce happened first?
Yes,
Oh,
the
okay.
divorce happened first.
All right.
August 28th, 1996. And Diana's car crashed in Paris by a stupid driver. I mean, absolutely stupid driver. August 31st, 1997.
Well, that's a paparazzi trying to get.
They were
Well,
chasing them.
that-
so what?
Yeah, but
You know, they can follow them if you do 15 miles an hour. They can follow if you do 115 miles an hour. And what happened? Paparazzis didn't get killed. They did.
that's right.
So it was dumb. Killing her and her companion, what was the
Dodi
name?
Fayed.
Yes. Her death and funeral produced an unprecedented outpouring of public mourning. Well, you did very good. Now, here's the question for today.
today.
July 30th, 1956. What took place on this day of an official action?
In this country,
Yes.
Medicare.
No. It was no law or,
Oh.
well, yes, it was. I take that back.
Well, Medicare was okay.
No, that was back earlier than that.
60
Okay.
years ago.
Well, first of all, let's start with who was president.
Eisenhower.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Eisenhower.
Yeah, that guy. Yep.
So, 56?
The Interstate Act was signed into.
No.
That was a good guess.
Something.
And there was some, shall we say, anger over it, controversy, but it survived and has survived what he sought in the way of legislation.
Legislation, huh?
integrating,
Eisenhower.
integrating the
Yes.
schools.
No?
No, that was Johnson.
All right, I will, it has to do with, the country's official motto.
Oh, in God we trust.
That is correct. Very good.
Oh.
Okay.
And earlier, what had he decreed or ruled or legislation was passed by the same president?
Added the two words "under God" into the Pledge of
That is
Allegiance.
correct. Under God, exactly right. Eisenhower's inclusion of the word God on currency and in the nation's pledge, religious and secular groups alike have asserted that it defies the long-standing laws of separation between church and state. Still, despite the widespread opposition, you can tell these folks who put this together are lean to the left because they make some assertions that are absolutely false and incorrect. At any rate, congratulations, Dwight Eisenhower. Now, this is not an official question, but I'm adding it on as a bonus question.
Oh.
Okay.
What was Eisenhower's nickname?
Ike.
Ike.
Yeah.
Very
Ike.
good. Well, you
We
don't
like
have to
Ike.
get huffy. She said, Ike, you idiot. Anybody
It's like,
would
I
know
like
that.
Ike. That
Did
was
you
his
know
nickname.
that, Tyrus?
I thought
Yeah,
she
we
was telling
like
you to
Ike.
Take a hike.
We like Ike.
Yeah,
take
I remember that now.
Take a hike, Ike.
Yeah, exactly right. One of America's historical favorite presidents, as a matter of fact. For 10 points, where did he go to college?
West Point.
West Point.
West
right.
Point.
Well, that
was
wasn't that easy, was it?
It's like who's buried in Grant's tomb.
Yeah,
Come on now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm only doing
is it?
the best I can under the circumstances. So be easy on me.
Roger.
We have 76 degrees and we have the news at the bottom of the hour. As we normally do. And our news, as usual, on a Wednesday morning, 7:30 or close to it, brought to you by Bob Manning. Bob is the Senior Vice President Financial Advisor with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley in Peoria.
Whoops.
Easy, okay? For all your investment needs, call Bob. You can reach him at 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. You got a lot of letters in there. And now with the news, here's Terry.
President Trump is back in the United States after completing a trade agreement with the European Union during his visit to Scotland. The deal boosters even further America's economy and manufacturing capabilities. The European Union will purchase $750 billion in U.S. energy and make new investments of $600 billion in the United States. The agreement makes trade balances equal between the world's two largest economies. President Trump's success in making tariff deals has been so financially successful, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley wants some of the money rolling in to be distributed to American families. Hawley has introduced a bill that would provide a $600 check per adult and child, or, for a family of four, $2,400. The gunman who shot and killed 4 people at that Manhattan building on Park Avenue left a note blaming his head injury on professional football, even though he didn't play professional football. 27-year-old Shane Temmer's victims were unarmed and had nothing to do with the game. In local news, Liberty Steel, formerly known as Keystone, is trying to make a comeback after laying off several hundred workers. The Bartonville company is seeking a $25 million state grant from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity and a $2.6 million loan from Peoria County. If approved, company officials said they would relocate its Dallas headquarters to the Peoria area and reinvest $70 million in Illinois. That good news comes after the once popular 50s diner in the Metro Center announced its closing. And the UFS store at 1800 South Adams revealed it's moving to the city's far north end at 8901 North Knoxville. The diner's closing is immediate, while UFS, once known as Unclaimed Freight, will not move until after the coming holiday season. UFS will occupy the space once known as Big Lots. Peoria County officials announced residents will have an opportunity this Saturday to get rid of some hazardous materials. The county's Sustainability and Resource Conservation Department is teaming with GFL Environmental, also GFL Garbage, to host a collection site at Expo Gardens from 7 a.m. to noon this Saturday. There are some rules, like first and foremost, you must be a county resident. All items must be labeled and in their original packaging. Acceptable products include oil-based paints, old gasoline, lawn chemicals, antifreeze, and drain cleaners. They will not accept fire extinguishers, fireworks, explosives, biohazard, and agricultural waste. A 59-year-old man reports he was robbed by two men at gunpoint this week in the area of Western and Roman Avenue. It happened Tuesday night as the victim was walking on Western. He went to a local hospital and was treated for minor injuries, saying his attackers threw him down to the ground. Peoria officials say they have 3 bids to purchase the now city-owned properties once known as the Commercial Bank Building and the Creve Coeur Club, along with an adjacent parking deck. Bid prices were not disclosed by officials. No reason given for the non-disclosure. And those are the headlines, Roger.
Thank you, Terry. Now a check of the weather brought to you by your hometown community banks, Division of Morgan Community Bank. 46 convenient locations in central Illinois to serve you. Look for the clock tower, and you'll know they have time for you. We have a flood watch this morning until 7 tomorrow morning. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, and showers and thunderstorms possible mostly after 5 this afternoon. Not as hot, only going to get up to 83. Tonight, more showers, a low 66. Tomorrow, cloudy early, then gradual clearing, becoming sunny. But in the meantime, we'll have some showers tomorrow, a high of only 77. Hallelujah for these temperatures, since today is the first day of school. And Friday will be sunny and breezy, 78. More of the same on Saturday, a high of 79. That's where we are right now, 79. Where we are right now is to say good morning to Kevin Sullivan. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Roger.
Say, I know you watch the news and sometimes the news conference and so forth. I want to know if you wince every now and then when a police official says such things as the suspect had a history of mental problems. Is that kind of set, somewhat of a possible defense by the suspect's attorneys?
Well, it always does. And, you got to believe with some of the crimes that we see committed that, they're heinous, but you got to believe they're precipitated by mental illness. I mean, why would certain people do what they do? And I've been, I guess for lack of a better word, preaching for years now that I think mental illness is so pervasive in every community. And I think it has to do with a lot of reasons. But I think, you see people that are homeless. I think they suffer from mental illness, perhaps because they're homeless. I don't know what the causes of mental illness are in this day and age. I do know that they have made within the medical psychiatric community, they've made incredible strides in improving mental health care, in developing new medication, in treatments and things like that. The problem is they're having a hard time. You have a hard time finding a place to go for mental health treatment, and I really think that I promoted from my own soapbox for whatever it's worth, which isn't much. You know, I think that is one business the government needs to get into. And they kind of got away from that years ago. I mean, locally, you know, they closed down the Zeller Zone Center.
Yeah.
You know, and that facility, if you look at that from an aerial perspective, photograph, was huge. I mean, I don't know how many, if you walk the corridors, I don't know how many miles that would be. It's now ICC North, which is a great facility. But when you think about it, they could have reduced the footprint, the size out there, but they certainly need a Zeller Zone Center. You know, when you like, for example, like this week in particular, look at the attention that St. Jude's going to get. You know, how much money are they going to raise this week between the run and the telethon? Easter Seals, American Cancer Society, American Heart Association. You know, I mean, there is an organization for almost every ailment, but you don't hear a lot about mental health. And unfortunately, what happens now, at least what I see, is if somebody has a mental health illness or a crisis, they typically are taken to one of our hospitals, in particular Carl Methodist. They go to, I think it's now the 6th floor. They basically walk in one door and out the other with a diagnosis that lasts about 20 minutes. And the other thing, too, is the courts don't have authority to tell Carl what to do. But back in the days when we had the Peoria State Hospital in Bartonville, when you had Zeller, you know, those were state agencies over which the courts did have control, and they could certainly say, okay, you're going to stay put, you're going to be here for a week, we're going to see you again next week. And it used to be every Wednesday, it would be a prosecutor, a public defender, and a judge would go to either the state hospital or to Zeller, and they'd have hearings on Wednesday morning for involuntary commitments. And, you know, most people did get committed. A lot of people agreed to it, but you don't have the problem you have now. And unfortunately, the way I see it is people that are mentally ill are now being housed in the various jails around the state. And that's not doing any good because their problems continuing to, you know, perhaps exacerbate. And yet there's nothing they can do. You know, you might get a cursory look from a nurse every now and then in a jail. That's about it. So I really think that the states or the government, federal government, really needs to get back in that business again.
Well, one of the problems that I understand, Kevin, is that you cannot hold any person in a mental facility without a court ruling. In other words, let's say a guy commits a crime and the officer says, this guy's nutty, not exactly a medical term, but in other words, he has mental problems, and they send him to the hospital. They can't keep that person in the mental facility without an order from the court.
There's a time limit, and I want to say, for some
72
reason...
hours?
Yeah, I was going to say 48 to 72. But, you know, here, let me give you another example. Let's say somebody is prosecuted, I'm going to just say Peoria, Tazewell County. Let's say a client of mine, and I'm really concerned about that person's psychological condition. And I think this guy's not making any sense. He's not helping me to help him, what have you. So I bring up an issue before the court, if it's before trial, called, is this person fit? And that basically means, is this person fit to proceed through or stand trial, proceed through the process? Now, fitness basically means, can this person appreciate what he's going through, understand the consequences, the parameters of what he's going through, and can he assist in his own defense? And I've had several clients in the last year that I don't think that could do that. And the one I'm thinking of in particular. And so I file what is called a motion to determine his fitness. I ask the court to appoint a psychiatrist. There is a group of psychiatrists at Methodist, Carl Methodist. Very, very good people. Very kind, considerate, very efficient. They determine whether this person is fit or not fit. Typically, if somebody is determined to be unfit, they would be shipped off to a mental health facility in the state. And there are a couple of them, one in the northern part, one in the southern part of the state. It's a combination of Department of Corrections and the Department of Human Services. Unfortunately, because of a lack of state resources, these people go into the county jail, and they may sit there for 6 or 9 months in the county jail with no help. And fitness, typically, the period of time in question is normally a year. Mm-hmm. Can this person be restored to fitness within the first year? And if the answer is no, or it doesn't happen, they're typically released from custody at that point in time. You know, and it's a different kind of custody than we know as, you know, purely a prison sentence. And unfortunately, these people are just languishing in the county jails because even at that level, the state doesn't have the resources they need. And it really is, you know, it really is sad. And I've had a number of cases over the years where I've had clients that were absolutely insane. Absolutely. There was no question. I could make the diagnosis. And, you know, the fear is sometimes, and I'm going back a number of years, you know, do I assert that defense in trial and not guilty by reason of insanity? Because that person doesn't, if that's the jury's finding or the judge's finding, that person doesn't come home if he's not guilty. That person becomes institutionalized indefinitely. You know, could be forever. And I had a client years ago. I will never forget this case. He was at the time a resident out at Zeller. Great family, great kid. And on a Friday night, they had asked the nurse in charge of the unit or the wing he was on, can we order a pizza from wherever? And she said, no, not tonight. And my client got so upset that he shoved this nurse, and she hit the back of her head on the door jamb, went down, and unfortunately it was her last week to work before she retired. Ended up with brain damage.
Wow.
Now, I had a great built-in defense. My client was already a resident at Zeller. But what we did was, under the circumstances, because we didn't know what was going to happen, it was about the time that Zeller was going to close, and my client's family were, his father, his uncle, his brothers were all attorneys up in Northern Illinois. We had a meeting and decided insanity was not going to be the best defense because we didn't know what was going to happen. So what we did was I argued his condition was compromised. He got probation, got released, and then the family was in charge of finding a place for him to be housed, and it was on a private basis, and it worked out a lot better because we just didn't know what was going to happen regarding, you know, was he going to get any mental health treatment at the state level, and we didn't think so. So, you know, it's a kind of a catch-22, but the state really needs to get back in the mental health business. I've said it once, I'll say it again, and it's the one area of medicine that the state, because it's so intertwined with the criminal courts, the state really needs to, you know, and the people that really need it are the people that can't afford it.
Yeah, and that's a big issue. The other issue is under what moral and or legal obligation is a psychologist or a psychiatrist, one can administer medication, the other can, as I understand it, to maybe report to police. I have a client who is psychotic, and he's indicated he wants to kill the President of the United States or the governor of the state of Illinois. What obligations is that professional under?
Well, I think it's under the same thing that we as attorneys are under. And that is, and I think actually doctors and counselors are under, they're what they call mandated reporters. So if they hear something that is, you know, basically related to, let's say, a criminal offense, whether it's a past or future, you know, future being a threat, I believe they have an obligation to report that. I can talk better about what we as attorneys, our obligation, and that is, if I have a client of mine that comes in to see me, let's say this morning at 9 o'clock and said, hey, I had a bad night last night and I killed my wife. You know,
She had a worse night.
but I can't reveal that. That's been told to me in confidence by somebody. That's not public information. I can't reveal that under any circumstance. And that's part of the attorney-client privilege. And it's a confidence that it's a very high threshold because people need to be candid with their attorneys to make the system work. On the other hand, if my client comes into me and says, I've had it with my wife, I'm going to kill her tonight, I have to do something about that to stop a future crime. So there's a difference there. Oftentimes, and I've had discussions with some of my friends about this, our obligation as attorneys with regard to information we hear is almost as sacred as a priest who hears a confession. And, you hear about the confessional privilege as well, that you walk in and you want to get confession, the Catholic, get absolved in the Catholic Church, and you say to the priest, hey, bless me, I have sinned. Last night I killed my wife. They cannot reveal that information. But I think if it's a future situation, they have to take, they have to be proactive to try to stop it in one way or another. So, it's a fine line. I will tell you, I have had over my career a number of people that have come in and said, I've done this and this and this, and nobody knows about it, and what should I do? And, you got to give them the advice, you got to give them the help, but I can't run to the police and tell them that. And I've wrestled with that over the years, but that's, and there's several people I know that are walking around that have done something really bad, and I can't be the one to talk about it. And that has been difficult, but it has and it hasn't. But that's an obligation. I can tell you a funny story about an attorney who's now deceased, and I don't know the name of the client, but he had a client years ago that said, he called from the scene of the crime, I just killed my wife, what should I do? And the attorney said, where are you? He goes, I'm at my home in Arizona. He said, get a crowbar and make it look like a forced entry. Well,
that's like the old adage, if you shoot somebody who's running from your house after robbing you, and you wound them or even kill them, bring the body back into your yard.
Drag him back in the house.
I don't know how true that is. But I wondered, to draw an analogy or a comparison, healthcare professionals in the emergency room of a hospital, when a child comes in and they suspect that this child is a victim of abuse, they are required by law to notify police. I have a hard time seeing that as something that is under the law to report, and yet a priest can't report that somebody's murdered someone, or you as an attorney can't report police that you have evidence that this guy's going to kill someone.
Well,
what's the difference?
Well, and the difference is the law, basically.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I realize that coming.
But I will tell you that I have had clients over the years that have called me, and their kids, let's say it's a toddler, maybe has taken a fall on a playground or, in the backyard or on the driveway, what have you, and the parents are very reluctant to take their kids into the emergency room for fear that some doctor is going to say, this isn't an accident, this was abuse, I can tell it's abuse, and when the doctor can't. And there's a couple of agencies that thrive on every case that's referred to them, well, this is abuse, when in fact it's not. And, so that, to me...
So it is a fine line.
It is. And what it is, it's now causing people to think twice about getting medical attention for their children. And, I can tell you when I was a little kid, I had a couple of things that occurred. To me, one was I had fallen at one point in time and hit the corner of a coffee table and sliced my eyelid open. And I had to go in, they had to suture my eyelid. If that happened now, I bet you my parents would be questioned by the police. The other one was came in too fast on a bicycle one time in my driveway, and I ran into our charcoal grill, which it was on, and it dumped on top of me, and I got burned. And
When that happened 2 weeks ago?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, poor bicycle. And so, but in this day and age, parents would be questioned. If not, I could be taken away from my parents if it was, backtrack 50 years ago. So, I think they've got to tweak the law in that regard, because people do need medical attention. Kids do. And some of these doctors are just jumping the gun right away to say, oh no, this is abuse. If I've seen it once, I've seen it, and again, as I've said, there's a couple of organizations who thrive on that, because that's how organizations survive, is by the number of abuse cases they can identify.
Yeah. We had a case, a matter of fact, 2 cases, one in East Peoria, one in Peoria, where a child was physically, mentally, emotionally abused, and no one, neither a neighbor or a relative ever reported it. As a result, both of those children died. And you wonder, why isn't, I just believe that in today's society, there is an attitude, I don't want to get involved. And those 2 children would be alive today, in my opinion, if somebody in their families had said, hey, we have an issue here that needs to be taken care of, because somewhat of what you just described.
What they need to do is, I'm talking in general terms, is there needs to be some degree of immunity and protection for people that do.
Like a Samaritan law.
Yes, do get involved. But, and let's say you've got a case where, a kid toddler's brought in repeatedly to the emergency room with various injuries. And let's say it's basically, the injuries are caused by a lack of supervision. And, and that's not unheard of in this day and age, when perhaps you've got a single parent at home working 12 hours a day trying to put food on the table, etc. There may not be one parent also there, an absent parent, what have you. I think they've got to have a system to be able to provide for that family, maybe give them some education, give them some assistance. But where I draw the line is, kids do, by their very nature, they get injured. They're clumsy. They fall. You go to a t-ball game, and you're going to see a couple of those kids that are going to fall between running from home plate to first base because they get out in front of their skis too much. Is that abuse? No. But these doctors will say, well, I'm looking at this injury, and this kid's 3 feet tall, and he's got a contusion to his head. That's abuse. There's no question, when in fact it's not. I think they need to tighten up the standards, perhaps have some degree of, you need witnesses, you need something besides a doctor who is simply speculating. Say, well, this kid's got a hard head. There's no way he's got a skull fracture by accident. Well, you don't know, there's no perfect model when it comes to assessing this, and I've seen these organizations and some of these doctors literally ruin families because of their speculation. I'm not, and I'm not coming down on doctors this morning and saying anything, because they are dedicated.
No, you might need one.
Yeah, they want to do the right thing.
Yes.
But you got to think about, for every action there's a reaction, and if you're not certain, you don't have witnesses, realizing kids' propensities, I think if I was a doctor, I'd be very reticent to, immediately say abuse, and but it does happen.
You have to be careful. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
See the story about the woman, and I don't know where it was, but it was on like Entertainment Tonight or something like that. Lady goes in to have her second child. And I guess they do a bunch of tests now I know they do on the kid. They did it on the mother too. And they come in, and she tested positive for opioid.
Opioids.
Yep. And they took the baby away. Turned out she'd had an everything bagel in a couple of hours before all of a sudden she goes into labor, so they go to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. So yes, she tested positive because, of course, the poppy seeds. But instead of using common sense, and I mean, they had the receipt, they had all this proof, And yet DCFS swoops in, and not only did they take the baby, they took the other child in the home away from her. And so she and her husband have been fighting this for months. And they're like, look, here's my proof. I ate a bagel.
Well, and
And it's frightening.
you're absolutely right. And to take that kind of sidetrack it a little bit, nowadays, if somebody is accused of a DUI, let's say you get it's a garden variety DUI. I'm not minimizing DUIs, but I've seen the extremes in DUIs. Let's say somebody gets a DUI and they take a breath test and they are 0.12. I'm just picking out a number. Okay, now they're going to face a 6-month suspension of their driving privileges. However, they can get a permit to drive during that 6 months if they put one of these blow devices in their
On their
car.
tire,
Okay,
yep.
They're called BAID, B-A-I-I-D, Breath Alcohol Ignition Interlock Device. And so now you've got to come out when you start your car, blow into the device, blow 0.0, and every 15 or so minutes you do what they call a rolling retest. Blow into it while you're driving, and there's a reason for that. And I tell people, if you are in the car and you have anything with yeast in it, let's say it's bread, pizza, what have you, that will kick off a false positive for alcohol. And I don't know the science behind it, and I really don't need to, but I tell my clients, you got to stay away from mouthwash, cough syrup, cologne, perfume, anything like if you're getting a pizza on the way home. Let's say you live in Morton and you're in downtown Peoria and you want to go pick up a pizza and you're on your way to Morton and all of a sudden you got to do a rolling retest and you've had a piece of pizza. Even if you've had nothing to drink in 6 months, it's going to show a false positive for alcohol.
Really?
Yes.
I've
Because
not
of the
heard
yeast,
that.
well, yeah, because yeast is used in beer and,
Yeah.
and fermentation.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Everything that we eat and drink has alcohol in it. It might be an untraceable amount or a minuscule amount. You have a glass of milk, you may be at 0.001 or something along those lines, because alcohol grows naturally in a lot of substances and a lot of products.
and when you take it into your body changes.
Your body makes alcohol.
turns into it.
It sure does.
Right.
That's an issue with diabetics, and you've got to get a whole new set of rules when you have. And there's a difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes when it comes to breath tests.
I'll tell you an interesting story about reporting. I was in the Quad Cities area a number of years ago, got a phone call from one of my best friends, and he said, "Where are you?" And I said, "I'm in the Quad Cities. What's going on with you?" "Well, I don't feel very good." He said, "I've been lightheaded, I've been dizzy, and I don't feel real well." And I said, "Well, have you thought about going to the hospital?" "No, I'm not going to any hospital." I said, "Well, the symptoms you're describing, Chuck, aren't very good." And he said, "No, I'll be okay." I said, "Are you sure?" And he said, "Yeah." Well, we hung up. I got to thinking about it, so I called the East Peoria Police Dispatch, and I said, "Would you be kind enough to go out to such and such address to the home of so-and-so?" Well, the dispatcher knew my friend, and she said, "I know where they live and the house. I'll send someone out." Well, what she did was send out a 911 alarm. Fire trucks arrived, the police cars and so forth. Well, after the wedding that I was attending was over, I called to find out how he was, what had happened and so forth. And the first things out of his mouth is, "Did you call 911? And I could truthfully say, "No, why?" He said, "The police came, the fire department, paramedics, everybody. I'm going to find out who it is. It's either my daughter or you." And I said, "Well, I did not call 911.
Yeah.
So that's a
Semantics.
fear that you have when you're rushing to the aid, and I'd rather to have done that and it not be anything than not do anything and find out that he died of a heart attack at his home."
Absolutely. And on a lighter note, I can tell a story.
Well, I thought that was light.
Well, I mean, it was a health crisis, but my wife and I had come back. We were out of town, and we had gotten home, got in the house, and had a very pungent odor of natural gas. And we thought, uh-oh, we got a leak. So first thing I did was I thought, I'm going to call fire department, because they're usually the first one to come out to verify what it is. So I didn't want to call 911 because I didn't want a big to-do about this. Just send out maybe send out a car. Don't send out, a battalion. And so I picked up the phone. I tried to call my good friend at the time, Ernie Russell, who was the fire chief.
Yeah, fire chief. Neat guy.
Oh, what a wonderful
Ernie
guy.
was.
And Ernie, I couldn't reach on the phone. So I called his brother, Ray. He was a firefighter in Peoria for a long time. And I said, Ray, here's the situation. Can you get me a car with a gas meter or whatever you want to call it? I just want to find out what's going on. And he said, I'll take care of it. I said, Ray, I don't need trucks. Just send out somebody. I want to see what's going on. If we can pinpoint the source of the leak, and I'll get if I need to, I'll get a plumber out here then. Well, about 4 minutes later, I'm hearing sirens in the background. I think there were 7 trucks. It was a 2-alarm. And they brought out, back in those days, a vehicle that had one of those big lights on it that, it looked like a grand opening at the fair.
Oh, yeah, the spotlight.
Yeah,
thing.
they were in the intersection in front of our house, and the neighbors are knocking, what's going on? I said, a gas leak. And then, all of a sudden Ameren showed up and it was fixed, but it took a while.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's better to have overkill than underkill.
that's funny. We had a neighbor in Florida that literally a neighbor in the same building we were in. She came home and she was hard of hearing, older lady, and she didn't realize she did not turn her car off, and she left her door open from the garage to the house, and the house filled up, and she died, and so did her dog.
Oh, wow.
And it went all throughout the building. We had to evacuate the building for 6 hours for them to remediate the
Carbon monoxide.
get rid of that. Absolutely. And it made a huge, when we realized it made a huge impact.
And as usual, you've made a huge impact on our program this morning.
That's
Thank
just
you,
my
Kevin.
chair.
Thank you, Kevin. We'll spray it with WD-40 later.
Okay, very good.
Thanks, Kevin.
Okay.
Kevin Sullivan, Peoria defense attorney on Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 in wonderful Peoria, Illinois. Good to see everybody, particularly on YouTube. And we appreciate your participation. Stay tuned for more on WAZU. Don't go away, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, July 30th, and first thing I want to do is say happy birthday to my sister in Indio, California, as she celebrates her 39th birthday, plus a few years here and there, for that matter. Anyway, we have a flood watch until 7 tomorrow morning. Be aware of that. And for good reason, because today mostly cloudy. We're going to have showers and thunderstorms mostly after 5 this afternoon. Not as hot today, a high of only 83. More rain tonight with a low 66 tomorrow. Cloudy early, then gradual clearing and becoming sunny. However, more rain in the forecast for tomorrow. The high 77 Friday. A beautiful day, sunny, breezy, 78. More of the same on Saturday. 79 the high, and currently our temperature at 80 degrees now with our lead story.
80 at 8 o'clock. That's not good news.
80 at 8 o'clock, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know what you were talking about. Now I know. And today's the first day of school. So welcome, children.
Yeah.
Chillin'.
Aren't you glad you're back in school the end of July? Anyway, on to the news. President Trump is back in the United States after completing a trade agreement with the European Union during his visit to Scotland. The deal boosters even further America's economy and manufacturing capabilities. The European Union will purchase $750 billion in U.S. energy and make new investments of $600 billion in the United States. What is most important, the agreement makes trade balances equal between the world's two largest economies.
President Trump's success in making tariff deals has been so financially successful, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley wants some of the money rolling in to be distributed to American families. Hawley has introduced a bill that would provide a $600 check per adult and per child, or for a family of four, a check for $2,400. This bill comes as the Treasury Department announces tariffs have brought in $28 billion as of July, and for the year, tariff revenue has reached around $150 billion.
President Trump has said his administration is also considering a rebate check, but says a first priority is reducing the national debt. Trump issued $1,200 stimulus checks during his first administration.
In other news, that gunman who shot and killed 4 people at that Manhattan building on Park Avenue in downtown New York left a note blaming his head injury on professional football, though no one forced him to play the game and no one did anything to get him to the NFL because he didn't play in the NFL, so it must have really been a nutcase. We're talking about 27-year-old Shane Tamara, and victims who he shot were unarmed and had nothing to do with football. Among them, a New York police officer, father of 2 children, his wife expecting a third.
In local news, Liberty Steel, formerly known as Keystone, is trying to make a comeback after laying off several hundred workers. The Bartonville company is seeking a $25 million state grant from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity and a $2.6 million loan from Peoria County. If approved, company officials said they would relocate its Dallas headquarters, in other words, bring it back, to the Peoria area and reinvest $70 million in Illinois.
I'm sure everybody in this room remembers fondly when it was Keystone Steel and Wire.
I do. That was my first job out of college, was down at Keystone.
You're
In
kidding.
the personnel department.
Really? Did you ever meet a gentleman by the name of Warren Reynolds by any chance?
No, I did not.
He was a key official with Keystone, a very dear friend of mine. Well, that good news comes after the once popular 50s Diner in Metro Center announced it is closing, and the UFS store at 1800 South Adams Street revealed it's moving to the city's far north end at 8901 North Knoxville. The Diner's restaurant is closed, and UFS, once known as Unclaimed Freight, will not move until after the coming holiday season. They want to make sure Santa remembers where they're located. UFS will occupy space next year, once known as Big Lots, that closed.
Yep. Peoria County officials announced residents will have an opportunity this Saturday to get rid of some hazardous materials. The county's Sustainability and Resource Conservation Department is teaming with GFL Environmental to host a collection
I like
site.
that. That sounds better than garbage.
When I write out the check, it's GFL Environmental.
No,
Yes.
you're right.
Anyway, they're going to host a collection site at Expo Gardens from 7 a.m. to noon this Saturday. I believe that's August 2nd. There are some rules. First and foremost, you must be a county resident.
That's an important rule.
Yeah.
All items must be labeled and in their original packaging. Acceptable products include oil-based paints, old gasoline, old lawn chemicals, antifreeze, often called antifreeze, and drain cleaners. They will not accept fire extinguishers, fireworks, explosives, guns, bullets, biohazard, and agricultural waste, and that's just a few.
A 59-year-old man reports he was robbed by 2 men at gunpoint this week in the area of Western and Roman Avenue. It happened Tuesday night as the victim was walking on Western. He went to a local hospital and was treated for minor injuries, saying his attackers threw him down to the ground.
And finally, Peoria city officials say they have 3 bids to purchase the now city-owned properties that I remember once known as the Commercial National Bank and the Creve Coeur Club, along with an adjacent deteriorating parking deck. Bid prices were not disclosed by officials, no reason given for the non-disclosure. Well, let's find out what the news is in the newsroom of WCBU, brought to you by Kathy Reynolds of Brilliant Real Estate. Thinking about selling your home, looking for another home? contact Kathy. She's available as we speak 24/7 to help you. And you can reach Kathy Reynolds at 309-696-2162. Now the news from WCBU.
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm Allie Cooper. The city of Pekin has completed a $14 million purchase of the 1,000-acre Ludekin property. Mayor Mary Burris calls the purchase of land between Illinois Route 98 and Sheridan Road a significant milestone for the city, opening doors for development and revitalization.
It also is a bold move, bold step forward in our continuing effort to invest in the future of our city.
A portion of the property is intended for a future connection between Veterans Drive and Interstate 474. The city aims to sell the rest of the property for other developments. That includes a planned $4.5 million sale of about 320 acres for a data center. Governor J.B. Pritzker has enacted 2 laws aimed at addressing gun violence. One adds civil penalties for people who don't properly store their guns at home. The law sets a shorter time frame for people to report lost or stolen guns, which is now 2 days. Pritzker calls it a common sense measure that's been shown to reduce accidental shootings.
Mandating secure and responsible storage is a critical first step in combating these problems and protecting our communities. If we can prevent even one death or accident through these measures, they will have been more than worth it.
Also taking effect is a mandate that every law enforcement agency go through a federal gun tracing program. The village of Morton and the Morton School District are splitting the cost for the school resource officer at Morton High School. The village and school boards this month each approved the cost-sharing agreement. Morton High has had a school resource officer from the village's police department for 24 years. Prior to the 2024-2025 school year, the village picked up the entire cost. In May, the school district paid the village nearly $116,000 for the resource officer for the past year. The agreement calls for that cost to increase 3.5% every new school year. I'm Allie Cooper, WCBU News.
It's hard to believe when you hear somebody say, the school year, and here it is, July 30th, and we're having school, the first day of school. I was outside playing when I was a kid, July 30th. I think we all were. What in the world's happening in the world anyway? Gary, what do you think?
I think
You always have a thought.
my mom, if it was up to her,
Yes.
we would have been in school 12 months out of the year.
Yeah.
Get her out of the house.
Yeah.
Isn't that so different?
Yeah.
My mom hated when we went back to school. She loved having us home.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
There was 7 of us.
Oh.
All right, let's get into sports. Tyrus, what do you have for us? And please don't spend a lot of time about the Cub game, okay?
Just say they lost.
Yeah. Again.
All right,
Let's see. You're on a different microphone. All right. You're on there.
All right, the Cubs lose to the Brewers 9-3. They had 3 errors in this one. They are now behind the Brewers 2 games, and we'll try to avoid the sweep. Avoid the sweep
Yeah,
today
it'll be
at
a
1:10 p.m. The Cardinals lose 5-0 versus the Marlins, and we'll try to go for the series win tonight at 6:45 p.m. The White Sox lose to the Phillies 6-3. The Pirates win 3-1 against the Giants. Reds lose to the Dodgers 5-4. Padres win 7-1 versus the Mets. Yankees win 7-5 against the Rays. The Blue Jays and Orioles executed a trade between games of their doubleheader yesterday as Baltimore traded right-hander Anthony Dominguez and cash to Toronto in exchange for minor league righty Jerron Watts-Brown. Both clubs announced a swap between games. The Jays designated veteran reliever Chad Green for assignment to open a 40-man spot and a 26-man roster spot for their new acquisition. NFL news, we got football tomorrow. It's the Hall of Fame game between the Chargers and Lions at 7 p.m. Also, Colts left tackle Bernhard Reinman has agreed to terms on a 4-year, $100 million extension. In NBA news, the Bulls and Billy Donovan have agreed on a multi-year contract extension, keeping him around in Chicago.
Yeah. Where did he coach at the college level?
Florida.
Florida. Okay.
He won a couple. I think they won a
Then he
championship.
won a national championship, yeah.
Mhm.
And I think as a player, for 10 points, what college did he go
Man.
to?
I can't think of that one.
I think it was an SEC school, but I could be wrong. We'll look it up while you
I'll
do
look it
sports.
up. Also in WNBA news, the Phoenix Mercury guard Kalea Cooper lost her wig mid-game.
Why don't you call it hairpiece?
Hairpiece.
Yeah, that sounds more sophisticated than a
Posture.
wig. You don't want to say a wig.
Well,
Well,
that's
you know,
what it
women
said.
wear wigs, men wear
Yeah.
hairpieces.
That's true.
Well, a hairpiece is more professional sounding.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're all right. A fan in attendance got tossed from the arena for mocking her. Tuesday night's game between the Golden State Valkyries and the Atlanta Dream was delayed because a fan chucked an object onto the court.
And we'll leave it at that.
And that's our sports, and back to you guys.
Okay, and we'll be right back after this message.
Hi, I'm Amy Grant. When it comes to supporting our military, the American Red Cross is proud to serve those who serve us. When emergencies happen, the Red Cross helps connect service members with their families. There are many ways you can get involved, from volunteering at military or veterans hospitals to helping military families cope with the challenges of deployments. Please support the American Red Cross service to the armed forces. Go to redcross.org. Thank you.
I'm a doctor.
I'm a teacher.
I live in the South.
California is my home.
I speak fluent Spanish.
No hablo español.
I have brown eyes.
My eyes are blue.
We're very different people, but we do have something in common. I made a donation to the Red Cross.
When disaster struck and I needed help, her gift to the American Red Cross changed my life.
When you support the American Red Cross, you change a life, starting with your own.
Call 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit redcross.org and find out about life-changing opportunities in your area.
Oh boy, that ended before I was ready. At any rate, we're delighted to welcome to our program on this segment of Breakfast with Roger and Friends, our good friend Travis Weaver. Good to see you, Travis. Thanks for coming in.
Good to see you guys. What a pleasure.
And you brought in your bodyguard, Ted Dabrowski from Wilmette.
That's right.
Illinois. Good to have you here, Ted.
Thank you for having me here.
You bet. What brings you to Peoria, Illinois, and the Central Illinois area? Don't all answer at once.
So, no, I'm here. I'm pushing a run for governor.
Oh, you're going to run for governor?
I'm seriously considering it, and you know.
You haven't decided for sure.
Well, I'm pretty decided, but no, I have not announced. But
Okay.
just waiting for all the pieces to fall together.
Ted, we're announcing
we can make
today.
news here on the
Ladies
Roger
and
and
gentlemen,
Friends.
Ted Dabrowski from Wilmette is
we're
announcing
working
on our show.
We're working on it.
Okay, you're
Trying to,
working on
the key for me is to get alignment from donors and some key figures to make sure we have a plan because to take on somebody like Governor Pritzker, you better have a plan.
Yeah. Did you say a donor or donuts?
Donuts too. I'll take that. I like that.
Travis brought in some goodies, so don't keep it under wrap. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, Ted.
Yeah, so I was born in Chicago. My parents were both immigrants. My mom from Ecuador. She came when she was 19.
Now, Dabrowski sounds Polish.
Well, that's right. Well, Lopez is my mother.
Oh, okay.
And she found another immigrant who came from Poland. My dad escaped communist Poland in 1952 and eventually made it to Chicago. And they met on the L. They had
They met on the L.
They met on the L, and they had this.
I didn't know people talked to each other on the L.
Well, way back then they did.
Oh, well, you-
60
well,
years
it
ago
was
they did.
safer then,
Right.
yeah.
My dad was attracted to this young lady from Ecuador, and they eventually they made the American dream. And so, I was born in Chicago. I left when I was 3. Had just a blessed experience to live around the world. I lived 3 years in Ecuador. I lived 6 years in Mexico with Citibank, and then I worked 9 years in Poland.
You did? Where in Poland did you?
In Warsaw.
In Warsaw. What years were you in Poland?
1998 to 2007.
Okay.
So very important years because the wall had come down 9 years earlier, but everybody was still working to make that place, a place where people were free again, where economy could thrive again. And it was a fascinating experience because I got to participate in a place that was not doing well, and today it's one of the fastest growing, most prosperous countries in the world. And I kind of think that we should do the same thing for Illinois, right? We're not doing well, and this should be one of the fastest growing, most competitive states in the country. And right now we're not, right? We're losing people. So.
What's your background? What kind of jobs? You mentioned the bank at one time.
Right. So most of my experience was overseas. I was big in management and in finance. So I manage big teams. Was helping in Mexico, helping a lot the import and export market grow through better financing. And in Poland, we really just helped. I worked in big transactions, trying to liberalize the power companies, the oil company, the transportation companies. So it was a big job in managing teams to help these companies get better.
He's a little humble, Roger. Master's in Public Policy from U Chicago, one of the best schools in the world. Master's in Finance from Wharton, the best finance school in the world. Managing Director, Citibank Poland, Assistant Treasurer, Citibank Mexico. Left all that to come back to Illinois and try to get our public policy problem solved. Pretty unique situation.
You know, we have a good relationship with Poland here in Peoria. I don't know if you realize this.
I don't.
But we have the 182nd Airlift Wing, and they have sent pilots and crew members to Poland as well as Germany as well, under the leadership currently of Colonel Rusty Ballard, who's one of our regular guests. The first matter of fact, Monday he'll be on our program. So we do love Poland. I spent 2 years, 57, 58, in Germany with the American Forces Radio Network, and we had 55 million listeners, and many of those were people who lived in Poland because of 150,000 watt transmitters we had all over Germany. So we would hear from people who lived in Poland.
I had no idea.
Well, you need to come around more often. I mean, you're running around the state, and here we are waiting for Travis Weaver to come in, and so it took Ted Dabrowski to get in.
I made him come here.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Sure.
You grabbed me by the collar and said, "Get in here."
I have a question for both you gentlemen, and that is, I have a dear friend who is a gospel singer, and she just returned from Indiana. She sung in Missouri and she sung in Iowa, and all three of the states that I mentioned, gas prices are much lower than Illinois. Why does Illinois have such high gas prices compared to our nearby states? And don't all of you jump in at the same time.
So there's a couple of things going on there. One, I think there's probably three things. Number one, decades of underfunding. So now we have bad roads that you got to pay for somehow. Number two, we do have a challenge here in Illinois of freezing and thawing. So you go north, it just gets cold. You stay south, it just stays warm. Here we go back and forth.
Interesting, yeah.
But then the biggest thing for me is we doubled our gas tax in 2019, and here today, IDOT sits with $6 billion in cash on hand. Prior to the gas tax increase, and that was about $200 million with an M cash on hand, which is probably about right. I mean, you got a multi-billion-dollar budget, you got to have some cash around, but $6 billion, we didn't raise our gas tax so that IDOT could take our money and just sit on it. They got two choices. Option number one, put it to work. We got bad roads that need fixing. Or number two, lower it. You don't just take the taxpayers' money and sit on it, because then what happens is the governor and the Democrats, you know what they love to do? Say, oh, there's a big pot of money over there. Let's figure out how to spend it. And that money's not for bailing out Chicago Transit. That money's not for giving pet projects of somebody's local regional airport to get a new runway. That money is for the roads. That's why we pay gas tax, is for better roads.
As opposed to toll roads.
What about the new bridge that's being built in Peoria?
The one coming across the river?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that would be a project of IDOT. We need to be doing more things that are fixing up old rundown roads, and especially in my rural district, it gets pretty rough. You go up to Knox County, Henry County, Stark County, these old roads, and they got to be good, because that's how we get our crops to market. You know, Illinois' number one strength is we've got the world's best farm ground, and when you make it hard for people to get in and out of those farm areas, it makes it hard for them to get their goods to market.
You know, I have a question. Go ahead.
I just want to add a little bit to it. You know, it's. I think people get infuriated, right? It's easy to cross the border and get gas so much cheaper. If you drive to Florida, you go through all these different states, and you realize, my gosh, why are we paying the second highest gas taxes in the country? And it'd be one thing if the roads were great. Maybe you'd say, well, high taxes but great roads, but we don't have that. I think what's really aggravating is that we have, not only do we have this fixed tax on gas, but we also have a sales tax. One of just 7 states have a sales tax on gas as well. So as the gas prices go higher, the taxes go higher. That's also infuriating. And now they've attached it to inflation. People don't get a break. And when you combine that with the highest property taxes in the country, when you combine that with the highest cell phone taxes in the country, these taxes are so high, and we've seen that. Governor Pritzker doubled that gas tax. It's painful, and people are struggling.
I drove to. I heard about the low price of gas in Covington, Indiana, so I drove there and filled up. And when I got back to Peoria, I had to drive back to fill up again because, no, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Here's another question, and it's eligible for anyone in the studio, because I've heard this argument for years and years. What area in Illinois has the best farmland? Oh, let's see if we get into trouble.
Illinois' 93rd district, Roger. The people I represent, of course.
Well, now, for those people who don't know what the 93rd district is, do you want to give us your boundaries?
Sure.
Your counties?
So I stretch from Pekin. I go around Peoria through Hannah City and Elmwood, up through Brimfield.
Well, they're okay. They're okay.
They're great.
Okay.
They're fantastic, Roger. They're my people.
I got acquainted with. What do you say, Gary?
I say Southern Illinois, around by.
Southern, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I would.
My position is around San Jose and Emden, Illinois, and Logan and Mason counties. And
It's sandy, though.
Pardon?
It's sandy, though. Maybe that's why it's the
Oh,
best
I
because
don't
then
know.
they
You
irrigate
talk
it.
to the Onses, and they'll tell you about how rich it. And another area is around Toluca, and that area. Illinois has been blessed with some very rich farmland.
Yeah. We're number 1 or 2 in corn and beans. Number 4 in hogs. I mean, it's a economic powerhouse for us.
Huge export market.
Huge export market. And how many states would love to have exports? And here we've got a great one in our ag products.
What's the capital of the world of the hog market?
Kewanee.
Kewanee.
Come on.
It
That's
is.
right.
My
Very
district.
good. You
props.
win. You win a treat that you brought in. That's about the only thing
Cookie.
we had. What motivated you to run for governor?
Well, as I mentioned, when my
Which
parents
we were announcing on our program.
That's right. Yeah, you and me are announcing it, Roger.
I say, look, when I was born 61 years ago, and when my parents came here, people were coming from all over the world to live here. You had people like Polish, the Europeans, you had the blacks coming from the South, the Great Migration. It was amazing. And, when I came back in 2007, I found out people were leaving in record numbers. What happened? And this place is an amazing state. You're talking about the farmland, add the universities, add the lakes, add the center of the country, add the transportation. We should be a top 5 state in just about everything, and we're not. And being in Poland and seeing how you could turn around a place that was so messed up, motivated me when I came home. I wanted to get engaged I was helping Poland, I was helping Mexico. I want to help my country. And so I've been engaged for the last 15 years writing and researching and promoting better policies. But I finally said, well, man, I got to stop talking about it and start doing something. So that's why I started
That's how
exploring.
you're motivated. Do you realize, and you have a background in finances, what it costs to run for governor?
Oh, I see what others spend, like Governor Pritzker. Yeah, he spent like $130 million. It's
So
crazy
it's
numbers.
not going to be. First of all, you have to win the Republican primary.
That's right.
And who's running on the Republican ticket, or has
there's
anyone
only one
announced?
Only one is announced. Judge Mendrick out of DuPage. I mean Sheriff Mendrick. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Sheriff Mendrick from DuPage. Mhm.
Okay.
So he's the only announced so far.
Well, one thing, Roger, if I can jump in, that I really like about
Yeah, you
Ted
can
is
jump in. You
you're
brought
very
in
kind.
the,
You're very
you brought
generous.
in the dessert. You can jump in anytime.
As tall as you are, you probably jumped in basketball.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So, there was a couple other people considering a run for governor, but their non-starter was that they weren't going to run if Pritzker did. They wanted to run against it as an open seat. But Ted really only wanted to run if Pritzker ran, because everybody else was concerned about, he's going to spend $150 million against me. But one thing I like about Ted is that he knows the record that Governor Pritzker's had over the last 2 terms, and now he's trying for a 3rd term. And if you can ask Illinoisans, do you feel like we're in a better situation than we were 8 years ago, and know the background like Ted does, and the facts and the statistics and the argument about why Governor Pritzker's been so detrimental, he can spend $150 million, and if we can illuminate how bad of a job he's done and the solutions that Ted has, I think it's going to be a waste of his money.
Yeah, interesting. Gary's our good friend
Yes.
and a Democrat. And Gary, I have a question for you. And it's not a confrontational question. And
Okay.
it is: do you think once he if he gets reelected, do you think he's going to run for president?
Oh, Pritzker?
No, Travis Weaver.
J.B. Pritzker?
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to run for
You
president.
don't. Okay. I was just
And,
wondering. I think he will.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I'll tell you what. How about
He's
let's
like,
bet the lunch. Winner gets to choose. If I win, we're going to eat the country club. If you win, Wendy's.
If I win, we go to the Texas Roadhouse.
Hey, you got a winner, pal.
I tell
Go
you,
ahead.
if you hear his speeches that he's given, not just he was just in North Carolina, and he's given speeches in New Hampshire in the past, Florida.
I think he's gonna
Sure
run.
sounds like he's running, and I think that's one of the big concerns most people should have. And not only are third terms just not very successful for people.
I was going to say, don't you think in today's society, it's just kind of an unspoken rule, 2 terms and you're done. Right. And I think him pushing for a third is going to alienate some people just right off the bat. It's like you had your two-term chance, now give it up to somebody else.
Now, I'll tell you why you're all wrong. This
Okay.
is a Democrat state and will be a Democrat state, and they will be able to elect whoever they want to elect. And J.B. Pritzker is the captain of the team of Democrats in Illinois. He wants to be governor, and he will be reelected.
Right. I'd remind you that him and Kamala Harris both got 54% of the Illinois vote. 54%. I mean, think about it, if you're in a room of 100 people and 54 raise their hand, you'd say, oh, that's about half. Right, it's a little over half. So you take that as one piece. Then, in the 15 most contested House races that we had last year, in all 15 of them, whether it's a challenger or an incumbent, the Republican candidate outperformed President Trump. So that takes that 54% down lower, let's say 52, and then you consider that Governor Pritzker outspent Darren Bailey by a 15-1 margin. And so if Ted can narrow that to a 3-1 margin, a 4-1 margin, we're right in it. And I'm not on the radio promising a victory. I'm not Babe Ruth. I'm not going to point to the outfield. I'm just saying Ted's got a legitimate chance, and I'm going to live in this town for the next 60 years. My kids are going to live here for the next century, and I think it's time that we get Illinois back on track.
You know what, Travis? I think you're older than you look, because for you to remember that Babe Ruth in Wrigley Field pointed to center field where he was going to hit a home run.
I just watched The Sandlot, Roger.
And you were there for the event. You're older than I am.
His granddad told him about it.
Oh,
I think George Santos was there, though.
yeah. No, George is in jail. So he didn't know what's going on outside.
Well, I just want to add, if you look at the last 7 years, it's become way too expensive to live here. There's not enough good jobs. And if you look at the school results, our kids, we're hitting record lows on kids reading on the SAT. And all that's worsened under Governor Pritzker. So, it's one thing if he wants to try to run for a third term, but if he runs for president, he's not even truly running for governor. So I think this is a change election. I think we need to do something different. If you want the status quo, high taxes, we talked about that. If you want the schools that aren't good anymore, if you want this stagnation of jobs, then you vote again for Pritzker. But if you want change, you got to vote for something else.
And I'm sure most Republicans, I'm a Republican, understand what you're saying. But remember, there isn't a single Republican holding a state office. They're all held by Democrats.
That's the
This
challenge.
state is like New York and California, and will continue to be that way. So, I want to wish you good luck for obvious reasons, but you have your work cut out for
Well,
you.
that's the opportunity.
I have
You have a question.
Yeah, I have a question. In order to draw people back into Illinois, what kind of businesses would you be able to bring into Illinois? Would it have anything to do with computers or such as this? And one more thing. I have a battery-operated electric car.
Oh.
That you get a
And so-
buzz out of.
So I don't worry about gas prices anymore. So anyway, what kind of jobs would you bring into Illinois?
People, I got asked that the other day on the radio, and my point is I don't want to say that I'm smart enough to know which business should come. What I do want to do is make it so it's affordable for companies to come here. So it's affordable.
That'll get them here.
Well, yeah, we got to make our property taxes for business is among the highest. Our income tax, corporate income tax, third highest in the country. We got this pension debts that nobody wants to talk about. That scares. Warren Buffett said, "I'm not coming to Illinois because they got all that pension debt. They're going to come after me for taxes." And so Warren Buffett says, "I'm not coming to Illinois." So I want to make us competitive, and that means get rid of the regulations, make it so that companies can start fast, entrepreneurs can do their businesses quickly. That's how we grow, and I'll let the market figure out what's the best thing. But until we change Illinois' reputation, companies aren't coming here. I met a guy.
You're talking like Caterpillar moving out too, right?
Well, right, and you had Morton left, Danville. You had Citadel, the big financial firm, leave. Boeing left headquarters. Tyson. We can't. This is Illinois, and we're losing those kind of companies. It's fascinating. I met a gentleman the other day who I've known. He's got a big retail business, and he showed me the big map on his wall, and he showed me everywhere. He had all these buttons where he's expanding: Virginia, Georgia, all out there, and some in the Southwest. He said, in Illinois, I'm not leaving Illinois, but he says, I'm not putting a penny here because I can't make it work anymore. And that's the sad part. We got to make it so that companies can come here, be profitable, hire people, pay people well, and we should be thriving. We should be competing with Texas and Tennessee and Florida, not losing our companies to them and people.
Okay. Right. Look at Illinois, Peoria. Look at the restaurants we've lost. IHOP, Red Lobster. Now the Perkins. Kentucky Fried Chicken.
All of our places that we like to eat.
Well,
I think it's because of Gary. I think he's been overeating.
But what's going on that we can't keep some of these national chains? What are we doing wrong that they're running out like nothing?
Well, I've looked at the jobs in Peoria, and it's been really stagnant. Decatur, much worse. It's losing jobs.
Decatur has had issues for years.
Yeah, so they have a tougher time. Peoria's just holding still, population a little bit negative, but we don't have the kind of wage growth that we need to have. And if you look at the last 7 years under Governor Pritzker, we have the 5th worst wage growth in the country. People need to make more money and have better jobs, and we've gotten used to that here. We're getting used to
this program. Everybody on the show is hurting financially, right? Because I'm not making any money.
But we're
doing okay.
Okay,
but we're excusing it. We just say, hey, that's just the way it is, and we got to stop doing that. We got to turn around this state because it's a wonderful place and it's got all these assets. I mean, you talked about it. It's our home.
Well, I thank you both for coming in.
Thank you.
How did the two of you meet?
Well, I met him once by happenstance, maybe 10 years ago, and then as soon as I won my election, I drove up to go meet with him. Yeah, well, I think we're actually in West Loop.
Yeah, West Loop.
But I respect his policy work so much. I love reading his editorials, and I felt back then that if we're going to get our state back on track, it was going to be because of policy things that he was putting out. And here we are.
Well, you should feel honored. I read a column every month in the newspaper, and Travis has never said, I followed your editorials, Roger, and it's really wonderful.
Yeah, but I've never brought him cookies.
Okay.
Right.
There it is. That'll do it every time. Well, good luck to you, Ted.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming in, both of you. Appreciate
Don't be
it.
a stranger.
Yeah.
Get him a subscription to your paper.
I can't even afford it. So, no, I'm just kidding, Red.
The paper's free that he waits for.
Yeah. That's good. Thanks, Gary.
Nice to meet you.
And now let's turn to a look at the check of the weather and the news. We start with the news brought to you this morning by your hometown community banks division of Morton Community Bank. Employee-owned, locally operated. You can still choose a hometown bank at hometownbanks.com. Member FDIC. Here's Terry.
President Trump is back in the United States after completing a trade agreement with the European Union during his visit to Scotland. The deal boosters even further America's economy and manufacturing capabilities. The European Union will purchase $750 billion in U.S. energy and make new investments of $600 billion in the United States. The agreement makes trade balances equal between the world's two largest economies. President Trump's success in making tariff deals has been so financially successful, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley wants some of the money rolling in to be distributed to American families. Hawley has introduced a bill that will provide a $600 check per adult and per child, or, for a family of four, $2,400. The gunman who shot and killed 4 people at that Manhattan building on Park Avenue left a note blaming his head injury on professional football, even though he never played professional football. 27-year-old Shane Tummer's victims were unarmed and had nothing to do with the game. In local news, Liberty Steel, formerly known as Keystone Steel and Wire, is trying to make a comeback after laying off several hundred workers. The Bartonville company is seeking a $25 million state grant from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity and a $2.6 million loan from Peoria County. If approved, company officials said they would relocate its Dallas headquarters to the Peoria area and reinvest $70 million in Illinois. That good news comes after the once popular 50s diner in the Metro Center announced its closing. And the UFS store at 1800 South Adams has revealed it's moving to the city's far north end at 8901 North Knoxville. The diner's closing is immediate, while UFS, once known as Unclaimed Freight, will not move until after the coming holiday season. UFS will occupy the space once known as Big Lots. And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, as usual, thank you very kindly. Now let's take a look at our weather, and the weather this morning is brought to you by Kyle Varnold, an insurance executive. He's a professional who can shop around on your behalf to find the right coverage at the right price. You can reach Kyle Varnold at 309-682-0519. I thought we might hear from him about the tsunami.
The tsunami?
Tsunami.
But it's not.
No, tsunami. She lives in East Peoria.
It's not a weather event. It was an act of God, being the earthquake that triggers that.
Weather is an act of God.
That's true. However,
he didn't cause.
No.
All right. At any rate, let's take a look at what we're talking about, and that is we have a flood watch until 7 tomorrow morning. Apparently, that means we're going to have a lot of rain. Otherwise, today mostly cloudy, showers and thunderstorms for the most part. The thunder boomers happening after 5 this afternoon, but don't bank on it. Not as hot today, high of 83. Tonight, more showers, low 66. Tomorrow, cloudy early and then gradual clearing. We're going to get some rain tomorrow, the high 77. Friday, the beautiful day of the week, sunny, breezy, 78. More of the same on Saturday. High of 79, and that's currently our temperature as we speak. And we say a good morning to everybody, not only on WAZU, but also on YouTube, for that matter. And so happy you could join us. Is this Kyle?
No,
it is not Kyle.
It's Dick Hawley. He wants to talk about Lollapalooza.
Okay, good morning. Here's our music reporter on assignment. Good morning, Dick.
Good morning. I have driven a bus during Lollapalooza. It is a mess.
I know he was going to say that.
People sleeping all over the sidewalks and the doorways. Hotel staff coming out and running people away so people can get to their buses. I mean, it makes Three Sisters look like a kindergarten picnic.
Like a picnic in Glenwood Park. Are you driving up there this weekend at all?
I go to O'Hare tomorrow, pick up some people coming in.
Well, that's nowhere near Grants Park.
Take 'em
It's
to
at
Knox
Grants,
College.
isn't it?
That's exactly right.
Well,
I have no problem with staying away from that mess.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. Have you driven up? Has anyone attended Lollapalooza?
I have not.
Palooza.
I have not. I haven't either.
Palooza is a snoozer with me.
Okay.
I think we've had a lot of people attend that from this area because they shut down Zeller and Martinsville Parade. They have someplace to go.
That was very
That's very good, Dick.
Zing,
Cheering
zing.
for Dick Hawley, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, I know some of the singers on that list.
You
or
know
whatever.
some of them?
Well, not personally, but you know.
Well, I mean, you know of them.
I know of them for
I would
sure.
know them from a load of clay.
Me neither.
But
And
so
if
that'd
you
be
say
cool
the
to
same,
see.
you knew one band, didn't you say?
I've only heard of her.
Oh.
But if she could walk in this room, I still wouldn't know it was her. No.
Oh, I would.
Oh,
Come
really?
on now. Yeah, yeah, I
Is
would
she
know
a
who they-
knockout or?
You can tell by the bling.
Yeah.
The bling.
Bling, bling.
No, I would know them if I saw them for sure. Yeah, most of those people on there.
Well, I know this, as you so are well articulated, it's a mass of people. People are drawn to the event from all over the world. All over the world.
As much as the West Peoria 4th of July parade?
I would say make it look like a family picnic
Okay.
of kamikaze pilots.
Well, you know, that 4th of July West Peoria parade is pretty well attended.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Where are you headed today? Did you say O'Hare? Hello?
What is really fascinating in
Apparently you didn't hear.
Chicago is when they have the NASCAR race up there. It is unbelievable the way they build the stands and everything along the streets.
Yeah, some people have complained about that too. I don't know if you know that.
Chicago's all about the money.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So is Peoria.
I can park in a no parking zone because I bring in people to spend money.
Yeah. Do you park in no parking zones?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know, buses
You
can
better
get
double
away.
park.
Have you ever gotten a ticket for speeding or illegal parking? Hello?
No.
No. Okay. That was the right answer, even if it wasn't the right answer.
How much did it cost you?
No, he said no.
Oh, I thought maybe you might have paid some money.
No. He knows.
The other no, Gary.
He knows the rules of the road. For that matter. Well, anything else you have to the good of the show this morning?
I don't know that was for the good of the show either.
Yeah,
but,
it was. You got
no.
off a good singer.
Right.
You scored a 10 according to the judges. So don't blow it.
On the Richter scale, you got a 10.
Yep.
That's only because I need to lose weight.
Well, how much do you need to lose?
Oh, I could lose another 50 probably, along with the 60 I've already lost.
handle the truth.
Well,
That's right.
it must be more than 50 pounds according to the judges, but
Yeah.
we won't quibble over it. All right, we've got to do our pet tip of the day. Do you have a pet tip of the day? Keep the dog. Oh, your
Yeah.
wife is telling you what to say.
Keep them hydrated.
Yeah, well said. Thank you very much. Thanks, Dick. Appreciate it. Drive with care.
I'll drink to that.
Thank you.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Today's Pet Tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. When you are shopping for a new pet and have chosen to make the responsible choice of adopting from a rescue, make sure that you are going through a respectable, well-known rescue group. It is very sad to say, but there are a lot of disreputable groups or individuals playing on your sympathies. So how do you find a legitimate rescue? Check with your state's listing of ratings for 501c3 organizations. This listing will tell you how long they've been in business and what percentage of their money goes for pets versus salaries and facilities, as reported to the IRS in their latest 990. It's an impartial determination. The other thing to look for is if this site or rescue group only adopts out a certain type of animal that could be called a designer breed. These are often puppy mills masquerading as rescues. You need to research these fully. Now, that's not to say that a Schnauzer or Pit Bull rescue group is not legit. Those are specific breeds. What I'm talking about is a group that has dogs they call cute names like Bassadors or Chiweenies or Poodles mixed with some other breed, and these are the only breeds they offer. That's your red flag to check further. Being a responsible pet owner starts before you even purchase your pet. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's Pet Tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
And as Dick Hawley's wife said, make sure your pet has plenty of water and stays hydrated, just like all of us are under that obligation. I noticed you have a bubbly, I don't know.
I'll drink to that, Roger.
What do you call that?
It's called Sparkling Ice Coconut and Pineapple. 0 sugar.
Ooh, that sounds good. What'd that cost you for a bottle of that? $2.69. Yeah, an Armel I gave it. That was very good.
My wife had it delivered to the house, so I don't know how much. Probably about
Wow,
$1.
who delivers?
Amazon.
So you order, let's see. How many calories? 5?
It says, 5 calories.
That's pretty good.
And my heart doctor wants to keep me at 2,000 calories a day.
Good luck on that.
And I told him that
That's a challenge.
I'm pretty much on 2,000.
Good for you. I also want to compliment you because you have a connection. You're a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat. I think that's pretty accurate.
Yes.
And you treated the Republicans with respect. And then you told me something about your connection to the Weaver family. And I will say this for Gary. Gary, when it comes to serving veterans, there is no partisan politics.
There shouldn't be. No, there should not be.
Should be no politics whatsoever.
Absolutely.
And you told me that you worked with Travis' father.
Yeah,
Chuck. Yes, Chuck Weaver.
Yeah.
To do what?
Well, it used to be that if you wanted to get a job with the IDOT, to qualify as a veteran, to get the veteran status, you had to have been deployed for more than a year or more. Well, there's a lot of people that are veterans that never get deployed. I mean, they stay here in the state.
They serve stateside.
Yeah, they serve stateside. So once he heard what I was talking about, he went to work along with some other people, and they just changed the law to where now you're considered to be a veteran if you get out of basic training. You're a veteran.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing
And,
what you accomplished. So you set aside the politics, and I don't mind saying, on a positive level, you did recruit me to your movement over the POW, and
it wasn't hard to recruit you, Roger.
No, it wasn't, because when you told me you told me what was going on, I said, hallelujah, God bless you. And you got the job done. I jumped on board, but you're the one that got the ear of a number of Republican and Democrat legislators.
Yeah.
And now airports are flying the
POW flag, yes.
POW flag. Good for you.
Yep.
We started the day with the opportunity I have to say to my sister Carol in Indio, California.
Oh, yeah.
She has a
She's awake
birthday
by now.
today. And I want to. You don't have the monitor. I don't know, but I want to say happy birthday to Carol Angelello, and if she's on my dad's lap. And how old would you say she is? I don't know if you can see it very well.
3 or 4.
Like,
Maybe 4.
Maybe.
Happy birthday, Carol.
I'll go with 3.
3. Wonder if she knows how old she was. I don't even know how old I was when this picture was taken. But
I tell you, Roger, when you look in, I can tell
anyway,
which one
happy
are you.
birthday.
I can tell which one's you. The kid that looks like I'm up to something right now.
You know,
Seems
I'm
like-
getting squeezed by my sister and my brother, and
you're
I
figuring-
look a little like Howdy Doody.
No, you look like somebody that's going to get in trouble in a few minutes.
Yeah, I don't think so. But anyway, and tomorrow, let's see, we have Mike Dentino and Dr. Sidler will be here. You have the day
I have
off,
the day off.
and Gary has the day off. You're going to go to Ottawa? You're not sure.
No.
Creve Coeur.
Next month I'm going to Ottawa for about 2 or 3 days. I don't know if I'll be gone on Wednesday or not.
Okay.
We need to acknowledge that Dr. Sidler gave us that answer to
Oh,
the question
yes,
you asked
I'm glad you
earlier.
brought it up.
Oh,
I
yeah,
said,
that's right.
well, refresh my memory. We
guess
asked the
you-
question about Billy Donovan.
asked
Who
for-
is Billy Donovan?
Who is Billy Donovan?
I
He
don't
is
know.
the Bulls head coach right
Okay.
now, currently.
He attended Providence College.
Yes,
So
he
thank you,
did.
Dr. Sidler, for that
Providence
answer.
College.
I never would have guessed that. There was a time when Providence was one of the top teams in college basketball from that part of the country. Really hasn't done that much in recent years, but has made somewhat of a comeback. I don't know. We'll as if any of us are really that interested in Billy Donovan, unless you're a Bull.
Unless you're a Bulls fan.
Are you
Yeah.
a Bull fan?
I sure am.
Yeah.
But he also won 2 NCAA championships
With Florida.
with Florida,
You-
2006
Is that
and
the
2007. Yep, Skaters.
Yeah.
Chomp chomp.
Chomp chomp.
Is that anywhere near Gator Alcatraz? I wonder what kind of team they have.
But
I
also,
guarantee you it's not Team USA. Yes, also what?
he coached Joakim Noah, who is also a Chicago Bull.
Didn't know that.
Hey, Roger.
Yes,
Um,
come in.
did I say happy birthday to Medicare yet?
Yes, you did, but I don't know whether we were on the air or off
We
the
were
air. I think
off
we were
the
off
air.
the air.
60
Happy birthday to Medicare.
60 years old today. 60 years
Yeah.
in 1965, 60 years ago. Johnson signed in
LBJ.
Medicare. LBJ got Medicare in there.
For
And-
10 points,
LeBron
what's
James.
B stand for?
Oh, the B?
Yes.
Can I say that on this?
No, it's a good name. I've never heard of it before. His
It's
name.
probably a family name.
Yeah.
J.
B.
Baines.
B.
Baines.
You got
Baines
it.
Johnson,
Yes.
yeah.
He just said it and didn't know he said it.
Yeah.
Well,
That shows you how intelligent he is. I'm right when I don't even know what I'm talking about, for that matter. Yeah, good for you. Good morning, you're on the air. Hello? You're on the air with Breakfast with Roger and Friends. Well, whoever it is, they're not
somebody
really.
wants to sell us some insurance,
Yeah.
or our radiator needs to be repaired on our car.
Oh, you got it. All right, let's see. I think it's time to wrap things up on our program. I want to thank everybody. I'm going to try that. You like that?
Yeah,
Is it filling, light and filling, Gary?
Yeah, you should get you some.
Looks like it might be pretty
sparkling
good.
ice. They have different flavors besides this.
And you have the day off. Have a great day, and we'll see you on Friday. And same to you, Tyrus. Thanks. A little reminder: we have a flood watch until 7 tomorrow morning. Be careful out there. Cloudy, and we're going to have some thunder boomers, especially after 5, and thunder boomers tonight as well. Currently, our temperature a comfortable 80 degrees. Well, have a great day, everybody. Remember, God loves you, and so do we. Thanks for joining us on WACU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois, and on YouTube. And tell your friends you can access us by going to breakfastwithrogerandfriends.com. Until tomorrow, so long, everybody.